right, baby.
Yeah, why you mad? I got a bag, bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stubbed, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go on, run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. You know. I said, damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah, let's go. Look. I told Shorty drop it for a real one. Yeah. Go ahead and pop it, let me feel some. Do it for the boy with a bag now. Movie star money making everybody act out. I don't lie to these women. If I want them, then I tell them. Don't get fly for these women. I was born with these propellers. All my haters cannot beat me, so I call them acapellas. See, I'm only getting better. You only get jealous. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. You know, I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. MD. JPB. You already know, baby. Yeah. Yeah, I said, I already done it. Everything you wanna do, I already, you know that you know that yeah. I said, you know that yeah. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hey, good evening everybody, welcome to Winter Festival. This is the day 2 for this quarterfinals, and of course we are back again. I am your host for tonight, Professor Tarzan, and joining me is my very good friend, the very wonderful Highland Wolf.
Hello, how you doing, man? It's the second night, we've finished with Group A quarterfinals. How are you feeling about Group B?
Feeling good, like other than the fact that we're still waiting for some players in the lobby. Feeling fresh, and this is good, and I like it. Oh, look at these graphics, man. Like they are given by Team Big, so shout out to Team Big eSports. They do all these amazing graphics, and I really appreciate it. So let's without further ado, let's go through the teams we have for tonight in the order of the team slots. We have in slot 3 Daos Legion, slot 4 we have Qodex, team 5 KDV eSports, Team 6, Team 1. Team 7, we have Futsal. Team 8, Aphelion Apex, also known as AE. We're just going to call it AE. I don't think I can remember it that well, but don't worry, we did do our homework, everyone. And continuing with the list, in Team 9, we have V13. Team 10, we have Special Ones CIS. Team 11, we have Nonstop. Team 12, Team Big Juniors. Team 13, we have Someone Killed You. I'm just going to call them SKY. Drunk Bandits is in slots 14. Elina eSports in slot 15. Slot 16 we have Union Power. The Lion King in slot 17. And last but not least we have Team 18, Team Big UK. So we've got 2 Team Bigs here, of course. This is their tournament. They are doing pretty well in their own tournament. At least they will turn up for this, and I do know Team Big UK has performed decently well in the PMCO UK qualifier, so very excited to see more of them.
Yeah, for sure. I think that going into this tournament, this is their home turf, right? This is what we expect them to be doing good at, and I think although, yes, we expect them to be good, we do have to keep in mind that there are still some really strong teams in here, right? You do have, of course, we've heard of likes of Qodex, we've heard of likes of KDV eSports before in other scrims, certainly for you and me. And I think that some of these teams, especially looking at also the fact that there's no CIS teams, which is something interesting, because for me, as we talked yesterday, right, the CIS teams are all about aggression, and we saw that played out in some of the matches last night. But here with no CIS teams, it means that we might see some slightly different style of play and slightly more relaxed compared to the hectic run and gun of that region.
Yeah, I think that is. I thought KDV's from Russia, and special ones might be from CIS, but we're not quite sure because, of course, rosters do change, especially in this week when it comes to teams getting qualified to the group stages of their regional PMCO. They will do some roster changes, and that may be a little bit of an interesting one. So we'll just call them by the names anyway. And as the lobby fills up, we have 4 games tonight, guys. We have 16 teams, as we mentioned. It's going to be 4 of them going to the next round. Pretty strict, if I do say so myself, Highland will, but they have some invited teams to join those semi-finals. So I kind of understand that, but 4 spots, very, very strict.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 4 spots is all they get to get into the next round, and it's going to be super tough to get to the top. We saw how competitive it was, especially keep this in mind, right? If one team rolls away with a couple chicken dinners like we saw in last night, again, Tarzan, that kind of stops the points from being so even, and it actually makes it a little bit trickier for some of these teams down on the low end of the table to be able to pick up some high kill points when all the kills, all the high game points are going to the same teams again and again. It makes it super tough for you to then in maybe game 3, game 4 to be able to work your way back up the leaderboard.
Yeah. Exactly, and we saw a team last night, Team Pain, played 3 games and still took top 1. What can I say? There's nothing much to say, and but looking forward to more crazy action like that. And we are heading into the room in 50 seconds. The plane on that Sanhok jungle action is going to start. That plane's going to fly. The map order is as follows, guys. We have Sanhok, then Miramar. Game 3 we have Erangel, and we are back to Miramar again, back to the desert, and yeah, calling themselves the Winter Festival. I like I said yesterday, with it's 2 beautiful desert maps. But why not? Because a lot of scrims recently have been focusing on making the game for Erangel. F in the chat for Vikendi. Goodbye, Vikendi.
Winter tournament, and where's our winter map, Tarzan? That's what I'm wondering.
It's not their fault. It's them knowing that it's worth the practice, right? Like the PMCO. So let's head over to this game screen. Look at them go. I thought we wouldn't have enough players, but here we have it. 16 teams, 1 trio, and that trio being... Let's find out. That trio is going to be Union. So Union Power playing this as a trio. This plane path going from the Kawi towards Tambang. Pretty center path, and even if it's not the biggest problem. And oh, it seems like there's a small issue with my game screen.
I'm like, it looks like the entire half of Sanhok has just died.
I need to see if there is a way to bring this back. And but I'm
You'll
gonna
be okay.
because this seems to be like a capture card issue, and I'm really sorry, guys. I'll try to fix it as soon as possible. And but 4km times 4km map is going to be a bit the smallest competitive map, so people just need to play like this. People in everywhere, so this is really hard to say that they can predict where enemies going to be. So I'm just going to quickly
yeah, I mean, right now it definitely looks interesting what we can see in the map. Yeah. Obviously, we look at the western side where teams are actually going to be controlling these bridge areas, right? You do obviously have the side of NS and VL3. They're controlling the south bridge, and you've actually got a side of DB and DE there running on the top side with Union just below them. So it definitely looks interesting in terms of the bridges, where this zone will rotate, which we'll take a look later on, and where that zone actually has ended up for phase 1, if these teams need to be rotating into the map, and if these teams need to be actually trying to control these bridges and being efficient at how they rotate to get into phase 1 to then make it to phase 2, because Sanhok, as we know, is the fastest map on PUBG, which means that these teams have to be fast. They have to be adaptive. They cannot be slow.
There we go. I think I kind of fixed it, but it's not going to be the best, but we can use this for now. And My God, I've never had that before. Not during the stream, and but hopefully everyone can still listen to it. It messed up dimensions a little bit, but we will roll with it. Technical issues do happen, and that will not make us give up on this one. Look at those congestion. A lot of teams not opting in for this bottom side of the map. So Kampong, Lakawi, Kamcha, etc. all open right now. The congestion over on the northwestern island as well. Just teams everywhere, Highland Wolf. Can you see this, by the way?
Yeah, I can see this, and I'm particularly interested in the fact that actually non-stop there have actually come off the south bridge of Painan. We don't see any teams in Painan tonight for these games, and they actually will be rotating to go to the boot camp hill, actually overlook the side of TLK there, and actually then be able to get vision on with the center of the map. But what we do see is also actually in the side of just above Quarry, the side of KDV eSports picking themselves up a kill versus the side of AE, and they will go down one member, which is not what you want to see when you actually see them so split. Losing another is Rusty Boy needs to make sure that he doesn't go down as well.
Okay, I'm done tweaking this. Hopefully it's good enough, guys. I've done my best, and that is it. And these early actions is going to be very important. Coming ahead, okay, it's out of those will mean you get some early kill points with these new system as well. Very, very important, these kill points. And yes, these teams really need to show it.
Yeah, as well, you see, obviously, even in the top side, right, in terms of side of Union, and also there we see the side of DL, Daos Legion, on that top end, and that's going to be interesting to see how they will also rotate, considering they've got the northern bridge they have to come through the top side, where teams will be maybe congesting a little bit more if they start to rotate up around the Paradise Resort area. But we do see that Rusty Boy has gone down as well, which will actually put that team just down to one member, and that's not what you want to see, but it is what we want to be seeing from the side of the perpetrators there. And we actually do see the side of AE just down to one player, and that it Cold there, own teammate, just only on his own and can. Yes, he's got that central position that tells him, but it's going to be so difficult because he's not going to be able to hold that as soon as teams start to come in, because he doesn't have the manpower to be able to do so.
But if they've scouted well enough as well, Highland Wolf, right? early parachuting, like awareness, very, very important. With the size of a map like Sanok, you can see there's not as many teams going to the eastern side. So if he wants to go towards Lakawi, Cam Bravo, he can play that survival game. We've seen it before, Highland Wolf, you know. 44 first dates, something like that. Nothing new to this map, honestly, and I might want to see some of those type of tactics coming through by some of these teams.
Yeah, we also see inside of Paradise Resort, someone killed you taking out Special One CIS. They pick up a couple of kills, but we do actually trade in for Tabushi, who has gone down as well for themselves, which means they will only be 3 members. They are together, and I like this because as you actually see them now coming up to Special Ones, who are in the outskirts, they have the protection of not only the buildings in Paradise Resort, but they also have the fact that they're together. They're going to be able to try control one section of Paradise Resort and stop these teams moving in, because Paradise Resort is in the zone. It's going to be contested as one of these hot drops.
Nonetheless, it's not quite a center spot. We all know how punishing it can be, like when you're staying on edge, but still, of course, phase 1, and this is where they can grab some early kills. Let's look at some interesting positions that some teams yesterday have shown us how to play it. So let's bring ourselves to V13, and to their eastern side, we have all those rocks and cliffside area around Quarry. Very strong, a lot of information, a lot of particular rocks and trees that you can make use of to trap your enemies, and that is pretty much in the center. So that is also one spot that they can do, they can claim. And Futsal is in a little bit of a trouble. Let's have a look at what's going on there. Terps is gone as for now, and they have been clashing with the Drunk Bandits for a little bit.
Back to Futsal versus Drunk Bandits here. Unfortunately for Drunk Bandits over here, Tarzan, they are inside the blue zone, which means it's actually surprising to see, right? In phase 1, you see them in the blue zone, you're like, hold up here. you need to be a little bit faster in your rotations, particularly because they actually have to go up against Futsal. It's going to be a little bit tricky. They maybe don't have the med kits and stuff they need to endure inside the blue zone because it is super early. We do see also TL taking one down on KDV on the kill feed, but it is returned as the side of Hack will go down.
Ooh, that is going to be hard. Well, what did I say about Quarry as well? It will keep shifting towards that side. And Lakawi and Kampong all untouched. That means these teams can just head over there and get a pretty solid mid-game. And this clash on that northwestern edge as well is happening as we speak. The Lion King needs to cross into this area, but KDV is already there. 3 kills up, 1 knock at the moment. Evo Station will need that support to come through. That revive will be completed just in a matter of seconds, and but as we speak, Lion King would took that time upon that knock to rotate out of boot camp.
Yeah, I love the fact that Lion King are moving out of boot camp now, being adaptive, being fast at it, and actually going to look to take down non-stop. As you see, actually, Dreamin is spill away from his team, and this puts him in a vulnerable position because there's no actual really Richies here that will protect Dreamin on his route to Etsis just a little bit higher in the hill, which means in that time he will be vulnerable to fire, and you expect him to go down. Even Etsis might be this target, as you see actually here actually finding the knock there, but not to the side of TLK. It's actually gonna be the enemies here, the other side of around boot camp here on the south end will be taken out.
And as they had a little bit of that upper hand, I feel like, but the pressure comes non-stop because as teams flow in from this northwestern side, they will get just stabbed from behind. V13 is holding a very strong spot. Union Power is wrapping around this fight as well. The Lion King might be in a little bit of trouble, can end up in a sandwich situation.
Yeah, fact that you also see the side of Union here also rotating in from that western side, gonna play that spoiler, be that third party to try take them down if they're not fast enough at the rotations. Now coming into the compound, which you just mentioned they were in, so they're not that far behind in terms of footsteps on the enemies that are ahead of them. And Lion King need to be faster. You need to actually take down non-stop, or either rotate a little bit further north and find a little bit of a ways into the zone from there.
I think this is going to be quite an interesting one, especially with this congestion. Look at the amount of teams that's still on the southwestern island. Highland with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 2 team bigs are there. They are yet to cross that bridge, and they're still holding the spot. This is Team Big. Junior, they drop Painan. They are holding it. He's still trying to choke teams out, and that will be a beautiful knock by Weezer, and that is a quick flush as well. The plan is working for them right now, Wolf.
Yeah, they're using Painan here alongside a blue zone textbook as they wait for Princess and Co to root their way down the side of that hilltop and actually be in the vulnerable open fields just before you reach those compounds of Painan. And they actually lose one there, Princess and Scout being completely flushed out. And now with the fact in the blue zone, they're going to be a little bit dangerous because there's no way to really either rotate down south either because, of course, they've got the other team big just below them.
And that is also the Lion King continuing their fight. Let's head back over there. They are yet to get a kill. It's just knock after knock, but NS has the position to maybe do those revives. But I don't think it's going to be as easy for Wayne Boy. Any teammates who attempt to come in shall be sprayed down. That is the problem with this type of cover. The escape strategy, very limited. Can't even run up this hill. And but that is the cover fire coming through from Junie, maybe making it work for them, but they will have to move as we have the next shift going over to this Lakawi and Quarry area. A lot of very, very hilly around that part of the map. KDV actually have a brilliant spot. I love that compound. You can see all those people running downhill as they come in from the western edge of the zone.
Yeah, I think also Futsal on the side of the eastern side will actually have a good position in zone if they're fast enough to get into the center and take out Cold, that lone player who was almost taken out at the start of the game. But also Qodex coming in from the south, right? They've also got that potential to, they have crossed the bridge first. They will survive from that rotation on the south end. And they have now this entire open south end of Sandhawk and it's still inside the zone to play with. But as we talked about earlier, it is non-stop here who, out of the fact that Dreamin wasn't with his team and had to try have that support for him to get across. He's still cut off, but he actually have just lost one member now, and that splits them even further apart because there's no mid player between the two.
And we also looked at what Team Big was trying to do, right? So, do we fight? Do we rotate? And they were maybe caught in between as they lost Junior. Watson is also stuck in the blue and now knocked. The rest of Team Big need to make it through the duo now. Trying to go through Pinine Hill is not going to be an easy cross. Hopeless. The name of the player spells the mood of the team potentially as they are slowly getting choked. But that is V13 holding that compound still. And like we said, teams needing to decide whether they want to rotate or use the position as much as possible. V13 is holding this to kill the Lion King.
Judy almost goes down to the side of Jexer, but manages to escape for now. And Dream and Order, meanwhile, with the fact that the V13 have actually just slain another one, his chickens will go down for the Lion King as well. And that makes 2 down for now. And the Lion King, despite the fact they had that advantage over the side of Non-Stop, they actually took too long to take advantage of their position. And as we mentioned earlier, right, teams behind them, they're just going to come up and smack him on the head and go bonk, you're out of the game.
This is such a hard position, part of the map to play as well. You just keep going uphill, and if teams want to play spoiler to leave that one person behind, if they have the proper trigger discipline, they can just destroy your whole team holding that position playing spoiler. So that is going to be some risk coming in for a lot of these teams. Union Power got a spot in there now, maybe playing some gatekeeping from against those teams that coming from the southwestern side of the circle. Team Big, so 2 Team Bigs are both on the side of the map and they might be having some trouble. Union Atom already looking at Arrow and the rest of Team Big UK.
See Union there with the high ground advantage. They actually made that speed rotation, beat out the side of Team Big UK from rotating in on the south end because Big were obviously distracted by the kills they were picking up around Painan earlier on. They took a little bit longer to rotate. That means Union have the advantage in terms of positioning, and they will control how these teams in the south front will continue to move further in. I'm also interested in this phase 4 here, Tarzan, as well, how it will look, because teams like Qodex as well, they're making those hard rotations up to direct south, but they will have a journey to make, as well as Sky also losing one to DL.
And KDV actually has it. They've got such a sweet spot. They can get the access to cross that road. That road crossing so hard to cross, but if they've got a decent split, but they are going to prove meanwhile. Evo Station coming back to the other side. They want to put all the firepower to stop these teams from rotating down this hill.
Cool. Yeah, as we see here, actually, KDV here making that rotation up towards the side of Non-Stop, and Tez is still not out of danger right now. Runs into another team of the side of KDV, and there's really no escape for him. Sandwiched here between 2 teams, so it is Dreamin' having to face up against the side. Oh, excuse me.
That's no
special one to say, I guess, before I choke in my own words here.
That happened quite a lot for me, but I can take over from here. And Dreaming was dreaming to really grab that one, but he would just get stabbed from behind, and that is set off for us. Maybe that is how important it is to know your defensive angles, not always looking inside of the circle, because Papa Blue is going to always do so much damage. You have to watch from the outside as well. KDV is still holding this strong. A lot of clash coming in. Look at the amount of players stuck in the main quarry. Look at Team Big, and one there all stuck, and V13 made it out alive, but they will have to come into the areas controlled by Union Power. Union Power started as a trio, still holding strong as a 13 teams remaining, 33 players. Is going to be a heck of a fight.
Yeah, the fact that they do control is a little bit of a higher ground versus Union. They will have that dip to look into where Union actually are, and we'll have to decide, do they continue to make that rotation against Union, or do you see as they're trying to do now, maybe just actually trying to bypass Union, take the compound on the side of their west, and actually control teams moving in from that western side. But we also see now the side of Qodex also losing one, the Lion King's Debtor completely being wiped out of the game, along with Qodex Wait losing another.
Such a hard one to push through. I mean, these sets of compound, even if you get out of it alive, you're just immediately into open ground. And hopeless, feeling a little bit of his own name there, as I say. Now pinch between the full team of KDV. Full team up at the moment with 4 kills. That is going to be a strong one as they take the 5th, proceeding into the next one. Not going to be a big distance for them to travel as well, but woo, Team Big, I think this is the UK team. They actually made it in, and they went all the way to this set of compounds, and they've only lost Mystic with 5 kills. This is some good momentum going into the late game, but they've got some mountains to climb, Highland Wolf.
Yeah, I'd love to see them actually rotate a little bit further in right now where there's no teams around them and avoid that potential of being stuck behind the road. Go across the road, closer into the zone. You don't have to deal with that open ground. But right now it is V13 versus the side of Qodex right now, going to be up against each other on this southwestern border. You see them now, V13 moving towards Qodex with that 2-1 split for Qodex and that full 1-1-1-1 split for the side of V13. But you see on the other side, Union, because Qodex here are up against Team Big.
Let's just need to see who are the kings of this compound, and I was going to criticize, but that is a brilliant one. And no, what? It's by themselves. Oh my god, wait.
Disaster strikes. If they just burn themselves on the front porch of the buildings there crossing the road, that's a bit of a goof on the side of Codex's team. That will actually allow Aero and Wiser there to make their rotation potentially now across, out of the blue zone, out of that danger, across the road. As I said, they should be doing, I say it, as soon as possible. As you see, actually only Suicide, the only one across the road. If he goes down, side of Big UK are in trouble.
But I like that maneuver. I like the fact that they want to pinch this. So sending one across with the car that they have is a wise way. There was some risk though, but being able to do that, I think Team Big's in the has the upper hand. They also have a spot in the circle as well. So that is that. Let's have a look at KDV because it's not going completely well for them as they try to shoot. A run and gun is the plan right now. 2 of them gone, 3 of them not. Brute is the last guy standing, just looking at multiple players at the same time. Excuse me with that delay in the audio. This graphics card's not helping me today, but look at all those action. Knock after knock, he almost goes down.
DV are deleting away the side of V13 FG, but finally goes down, and they will fall out of this game. We see 5 teams remaining. V13 trying to do what they can after that decimation of them running down the hillside, but Union also not having a great time here, Tarzan, either, because they also need to run down the hill, and they're running straight into the hands of Team Big, who have actually slain out Qodex, who now have control of the zone as well, potentially moving in. But look at that zone where it shifted. Phase 7, no teams inside the zone. Team Big needs to move up. The rest of the teams need to move down into it. And this is going to be a party, as you see the side of AE also moving their way in, Aphelion Apex.
This is going to be a win for
alive,
Team Big.
cold.
I think he needs to be the absolute clutch god to make this work. And I was going to make a point saying this should be run and gun given the circle being so open, but doesn't matter. It's going to be a 1v3 right now, and the position of Code is also known by Team Big. So if I were them, I'm just gonna push in like a madman right now to grab that kill point. Suicide trying to bait some shots from the side. I do like that maneuver as the blue slowly comes in. They will have to watch this like a hawk, but I would put all my money on them, but Colt, it might be proving me wrong. No.
Like the fact of Aphelion Apex, they were almost out, though keep in mind at the start of the game, but they do keep themselves to 2nd position. DL do go down in 3rd position, but it's Team Big, as we mentioned, with the control of those late game phases and have the control of the zone with the players. They will take their first chicken dinner.
Well done, and that is going to be the wrap for Game 1. I'm going to take some time to... I'm just going to make Highland Wolf do a little bit of the results as I try to tweak this. Technical issues, I do want to bring my best for all of you. So I'm just going to tweak this just a little bit as as Highland Wolf takes this away.
Oh my goodness, the quick maths, the dread right now. Team Big in 1st place, Team Big UK in 1st place with chicken dinner, and they will have 8 kills. You see Aphelion Apex will be in 2nd position with 2. DL take 3rd 3rd position. I don't know what DL. I've been looking all day at DL right now. It's Daos Legion. I keep forgetting. Daos Legion, apologies for the 6 kills there. Union with 2 in 4th position. V13 will be in 5th with 7 kills. KDV will be in 6th with 9 kills. Qodex take up 7th with 3. 1 will be in 8th position with 2. Futsal will take up 9th with 3 kills for themselves, and it will be the other Team Big Junior, which will take up 10th position with 0 kills. Side of S1, I do believe, in 11th position with 3. The Lion King in 12th with 2. Non-stop in 13th position. Tarzan, move it down.
Hey,
We gotta go
sorry.
down. We gotta
Go down. It's going to go down.
down.
We can't go down. Fix it now.
Oh my goodness. That DV with 1 kill in 14th position. ELI in 15th position with 1 kill there. Elina eSports, and in 16th position, someone killed you, not having the kills they needed in that game in rear position with only 2.
Yes, and that is. Thank you so much, Island Wolf, as I was trying to tweak it, and my apologies again for the technical issues. It was literally okay. We saw it, right? Like earlier, the game screen was fine, and suddenly just glitched on me, and so glad it's kind of fixed. I know there's still a little bit of audio delay. I'll try to fix it, but if not, I do appreciate your patience, and let's hope for a better game too. And we will be back in roughly 10 minutes as we bring you guys the game 2 over at the desert of Miramar. Welcome back to quarterfinals Group B, and game one was quite eventful. Highland Wolf, are you here with us?
Oh, yes, it was. I was super proud of the fact it Cold actually, despite the fact that Aphelion Apex almost got completely wiped out, they managed to turn it round from almost being last place to being the runner-up for the chicken dinner versus the side of Team Big UK. Of course, Team Big UK, they're well done in their positioning, right? Being able to actually rotate round the entire side of that map to come down off the eastern side to then come in through the compounds of the little bits against the road there and actually control not only teams coming down the mountain, side, but also be able to control teams. The fact that they sent one over, as you mentioned, suicide over that road, was able to stop Qodex completely in their tracks.
Yeah, and that's also down to the map knowledge, the limits of the ridges, etc. Rotating around cave like that can be very dangerous, but they made it work, and pretty wise to go wide on that rotation rather than charging it straight up against a high hill. So we will give that one that. Hope to see more from a British team. I mean, like, both Highland Wolf and myself are from the UK, so I'm not particularly biased, but we want to see our region do great as well. Of course, so many strong teams in tonight's lobby. We're waiting for maybe 2 more players, then we're going to have some wonderful mirror game. Of course, everyone keep your fingers crossed for me. Okay, Highland Wolf, Jake, please do it as well, because we need that screen to work, right? We need those audio issues to be gone. They're not good. I'm not so easily defeated, right? See, look at us. Look at us go. We are still on it. Okay, let's go get some good games, and do remind me to tweak a few things as well, because I did leave the banner unchanged yesterday, and I got a message for that, so need to improve. Yay.
I'm proud of you for taking this on board, Tarzan. I have total faith in you.
Thank you. I'm learning to have that same amount of faith in myself, but with people like you, life is so much better. Life is so much better.
Oh, thank you, man. The bromance is real tonight.
Yes, and you know what? Like, after Sanhok, because it's so different to the other maps, like, there will be new team fight mechanics or like new things that we haven't seen yet, and that will be so amazing. I don't think I've even heard like many cars in that game just now. So I'm in this. I love Miramar. I love casting. I love you. Hey, it's almost Valentine's Day. What's the date right now?
I should get you a gift for it. It's okay.
Yeah, for whoever's watching,
casting with me as your gift.
I think I'm gonna ditch you on that day. I'm sorry. No, I'm gonna send you a lovely message. But yes, gentle reminder. Don't lose your love for not doing what you're supposed to. Look at us go. Look, this is the screen that we want to see. Is it too okay? It's not.
Is that what we want to
see?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's just a glitch off the screen. He's just stuck amongst other players, but seems like the main screen is looking somewhat okay. The bottom there is. We'll let that one slip. Okay, guys. I'll try not to let my perfectionism to ruin this one for us. This will be a good one, and let's go get it.
Can't wait to see what these players will do in a totally different map, as you mentioned. Yes. Side of Miramar, super open, much more about the rotations, and this time not just about running into the rotations, but being smart and conservative about your rotations. Let's see where that playing path goes. Ooh, that's a juicy one, Tarzan.
Juicy one through Ladrilera, basically through Jumasera as well, all the way to the bottom right of the map. Very southern playing path, guys. So we've seen like 4 teams jump towards El Pozo yesterday. That may repeat because it's within that jump distance. I think with a little bit of a glide, par grid can be claimed, but Saint Martin a little bit further. Same for Minas Generalis, very highly contested part. It seems like that small audio delay is still there, so we just need to bear with it. But at least we've got the screen and the graphics okay. So that means for teams who like going to the northern parts of the map, they may need to use those knowledge of vehicle spawns and just head towards in particular the top right parts of the map to get an easier and less congested, less contested early game. But of course, like that, those rotations thereafter heavily dictated by the game, the phase 1 circle.
Yeah, on the other hand, of course, we do have decided our South Island, though, for teams to join in around, particularly Jumasera, though, around maybe even Minas del Valle, rotating over towards Puerto Prisio even, and going up to coastline if we do see that crazy top right zone. But it's going to be El Pozo where we see the most of these teams start to drop first, and it will be this congestion between Union going up against V13 and also Daos Legion.
And that is going to be quite interesting with Team Big Junior's position. They're split around it, so maybe they can get quite some cheeky knocks and kill steals around that. And the second area with that congestion is going to be Los Leones. 2 teams Futsal and 1 inside. But all the teams around, I've seen Qodex play this, they are doing the same split as AE on the south side of Los Leones, and we are going to have a northeastern phase 1 circle. So these teams need to make some wide rotation, need to time it well. The last congested El Pozzo we have was very, very merciful because of the circle's position, but not quite so in this one. Teams will need to move pretty soon.
See Daos Legion striking onto 2 there as you take down one of the Drunk Bandits, and also on the side of Team Big Juniors, they're both losing 1 player, so just run straight over the members of Disrespect onto the Drunk Bandits as they make their rotation now up towards the north side, going potentially for La Cobreria up towards through that northern rotation into the zone, which is going to be a smart passive way to start off their game. But I'm interested as well to see how these teams get both out of El Pozo, particularly more in Los Leones, because Los Leones is that mega city. We expect it to be a little bit slower to start. El Pozo, not so much.
Exactly, and you know what I also am looking out for, Highland Wolf? It's going to be these teams' first power position. Okay, the choice of the first power position that they held. They may want to play gatekeeping because this is the basic of PUBG. You know the playing path with the new route function as well. You can very clearly mark it on the map, and you can see how that is with respect to the phase 1 circle, and they can play a lot of gatekeeping if they want to.
Yeah, I actually like the fact that all of these teams have actually been pretty respectful, right? Apart from the side of Daos Legion, just the absolute disrespect, the utmost disrespect of running over people at the start of the game. Shame on you for doing so, maybe not so for them. But it will be non-stop, though, also losing 1, as you actually see this side of Elina eSports now taking control of their position over the side of Picado Hills. We see them actually taking control of the casino, gonna actually try now move in towards the 4 stacks, where actually non-stop are holding up. You see Dreamin though is split once again. Seems like he likes to be a little bit split, but maybe not split that far, Dreamin, because he goes down to the side of Elias, and that will be now them down to just 2 members.
Off angle over off angle. I thought he had a chance to stop that cross coming from Cote, but he just didn't really fire, and the rotation along those northern compounds will find that side angle onto Dreaming, and it's not going to be an easy one if Wainbow wants to cross, because Elina are pushing in to put pressure on that western side.
Elina here actually catching out non-stop for a 2nd game now in a row. Almost seems to me like they do like to play with Dreamin on that little bit of a side split on a solo. Catch out flank rotations behind them, but not working out this time, as you now see Wally and Lexter also now making their way to hunt down that killers. Ted is also now just trying to evade outside of the entire compound entirely, escaping away as Wayne Boy also split away from the team. Junie on their own inside a building as Cote makes a move right through it.
This is a time for Junie to show us what he's made of. I'm talking about awareness here, Highland Wolf, is how much he can restrict giving away audio cues. He is the most important player right now to pick up all the audio cues, but if he starts moving, which he is going right now, he has to time it right, and he knows there are some support that's required of him. He's now coming in, trying to pull off this 2v1, and it will work in their favor.
The beautiful hearing those footsteps, as you say. They heard Elina moving in, as you actually saw the side of Tezis moving inside the building. You see Junie actually going to, from the top side, going to sandwich them together. There was no way out for Elina from 2 directions. They take down the second on Ruble, use them as a complete bait for Elina's footsteps there. And Elina, just like that, lose 2. But keep in mind, they have also lost Dreamin earlier on for the side of non-stop, so they have lost 1 in return, and Willie and Lexo I think will disengage this fight now. Also should non-stop and maybe try go a little bit further into the zone, because both of them are still not inside the zone in Picado here.
Yeah, but the good thing is Picado has a lot of vehicles around, unless teams want to hold the choke spots very close to this, right? We've got Picado who've got this bow that I like to call it, to have a great high ground to overlook Picado. They have to move out before teams get to those positions. If not, they may lose those vehicles pretty easily. And let's have a look at the rest of the map. The Lion King's pulled away from Monte Nuevo, now rotating wide. Qodex will go even more southern parts of the map towards those coastlines to loot up a bit more. The standoff around Los Leones will slowly dissipate, and we have some rotations along the eastern road, which is what I want to see. That is the empty side, the quiet side. S1 is there now in Impala. We have SKY as well. But the winners of Game 1, Highland Wolf, Team Big UK is the most center team right now.
Yeah, but actually managed to stop the rotation of V13, and we talked about them coming through La Coperia, so our teams behind with Daos, Legion, and Drunk Bandits doing the same, but Big Juniors, they have made it first. Despite the fact they lost one earlier on to Daos Legion, they have actually been able to keep themselves ahead of rotations of a team, and now you actually see them maybe picking up 2, but now it's going to be a 2 versus 1. V13 versus 1 of Big, and Hopeless just gets deleted, smacks into the ground. Miramar, goodbye for you, sir. As it will be Big losing another, down just to Junior and Woodson.
Really hard one. I think teams really need to know like what splits should be like. It's not just a geographical distance between your players. You need to think about each other's defensive angles so you can cover as soon as possible. Like maybe not on the exact same spots, but you need to be able to get into a position to do that within a matter of seconds. And of course, vehicles will be a very, very important resources for these teams to successfully do those.
I like that Big, despite the fact they lose one there, they make that speedy rotation now, going past Aphelion Patron, and now going to be moving in towards the center of the zone. Going to actually keep ahead of the game of where that zone will be going, looking to try scout with Woodson there around the center of Junkyard, around those hills area, looking for the high ground once again to take advantage of teams moving in, trying to repeat the tactic. Maybe it work out better this time, albeit with only 2 players. We see V13 also looking to do the same, with Tigers going to be their own scout, moving in towards the center just behind Big.
And this V13 coming in to scout these very, very strong areas with a lot of main roads around that spot as well. Plus the high ground, there is so much potential for them to choke the rotations of other teams, and that is very possible because driving along the main roads is just so much smoother on Miramar, and that might be a very, very good spot for V13 to farm some kills. These teams are rotating pretty late, in my opinion, Highland Wolf. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I do feel the same, actually, because you actually see the side of Team Big UK, for example, making that risky rotation alongside the Lion Kings, moving up towards the center of the zone. You actually see non-stop, though, on the outside of the zone. They look like they're being taken out by the side of Elina, as well as Elina will try to finally finish off what they started here, only down to 1 player, though, as Wally will go inside. Now it will be the turn of the tables as non-stop. Now they find a 2-man return inside the building. They pick up 4 kills, keep all of their 3 remaining players alive, and now they will also be able to make their rotation in the zone. But what I wanted to say here in the south end, Tarzan, is this congestion of teams. You see on the zone coming through Lambidita up towards Minas Generales, and around that center it's starting to look a little bit crowded, with also the Lion King moving around those hilltop areas that we just talked about. And now that teams have controlled the high ground, we're going to be a little bit more scary moving towards the center, because you have that long range assassination potential.
And Daos Legion going for white rotation as well, sharing the same idea is the Drunk Bandits. Drunk Bandits has lost Anonymous, and on this northern rotation, they should know, right? Like, because the map, the playing path basically go from the middle of the map on the left side to the bottom right. That means if they go towards the northern part, they will get some easier entry points, and so that is one way to play it. And with this circle as well, this sort of hard shift and the amount of land that they can play, I think this is the ultimate test to teams doing the basics, doing the homework in scouting, using third-person peek effectively. And if they lose any players at this stage, they are probably making some mistakes.
They're just bad, basically, is what you're trying to say to them. Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh. Yes, okay, yeah, you got me there. Yes, I think if you lose your life at this phase of the game, like in this particular circle, maybe you're bad. But if you are okay, of course, teams can maybe do a lot of like homework in terms of how you rotate, but in Miramar, with that size of a map, there's so much that you can do. You just need to study the map, and that is part of your skill in this game, like the particular ridges that are strong, the high ground, and that map knowledge need to factor in driving on the correct side of the hill, knowing the surrounding choke spots. Like those things should come in, and I think a lot of these players still got a good amount to learn. Not saying that I'm good, but I'm just putting a point out there, right? And this is a good maneuver from Union Power, knowing that a teammate of themselves are potentially choked behind a rock with no vehicles. There's no possible or safe escape. So that is them sending one player in to do a quick pickup, and that will be a good maneuver. See, a lot of teams are doing well.
They are doing well. I'm proud of them here. But Big will also find one onto Union. Did you say they're doing well? I think you jinxed them, because if Union do lose one to Team Big UK, also the Lion King coming in behind them, make that a double against Union. Is Team Big will just obliterate backside. Thankfully, though, they did have that pickup truck. They will be able to escape out from the back door of the side of the Lion King and Team Big UK, who now control the center of this zone of Miramar here. Now we see them controlling that low ground for the side of the Lion King, and those buildings up above will be taken by Team Big.
And the very common and strong compound that Team Big is holding right now, but I do want to say one problem like with this split is that this high hill, they've got no one on there to hold it. So many dips that they can hold for them to prevent being backstabbed, especially if in the likes of Mystic trying to use that rooftop to shoot at some rotating players of the Lion King there, they can just get stabbed from behind. It's not even, this cliffside is not even close enough for them to pick up any footsteps, Highland Wolf.
Right, exactly, and this is what we kind of talked about with KDV Esports now moving in as well, above that hilltop, exactly where one of them maybe should be positioned. They're going to have that optimal high ground and actually be able to maybe now trap Big inside their own compound, because there's no way down because of how open that roadside, that hillside is, excuse me, and also the fact that TLK are also below. So now at KDV, if they do make their rotation right, they maybe pick off side of Suicide, who looks a little bit separated here on this 3-1 split.
Yeah, like at least KDV has put one behind to really stop the rest of the team from being like shot like from the side angles, and I think Evo Station really just spoiled that tactic for them there and not knowing the limits of the ridge line, showing himself having his car shot at when he has this type of ridge line. I think is a mistake, and they would have probably missed some opportunities to knock and kill some of Team Big UK.
As we say here, though, Suicide is split apart, and you do actually see Trofka moving around to try take advantage of that. I also think now it's going to be time limited again with Non-Stop moving in out of Picardo and into this compound as that potential third party. You do see Big Mystic, though, go down inside that building. That was the snipe they were looking for, and now Big, they need to make that speedy rotation, because you see Evo Station repositioning. You see the side of Brute also repositioning round, with Venya getting a little bit closer and seeing how far they can get before they can find another pick.
The pincer formation, this is nothing new. They know, they should know, Team Big should know that this compound has this problem. This is KDV trying to surgically remove them, but the return knock comes through from the side of Team Big as well. One knock right now, Mystic still down, but KDV has lost two.
Yeah, Visor using the choke points there, both doors, and they try to go in both entrances, but it's not enough. The spray lands onto two, knocks both down, and they will be finished off. And now we actually see this, all of Team Big inside one big building here in the open versus KDV looking to try to rescue Trofka, maybe use Aero here and pick him off. Using that bait of Trofka being down, the door gets shot, the vision gets blocked, and Aero will survive for now, though.
Just need to play patiently. They are in position to maybe revive these as well, but Mystic is just still slowly bleeding out, and that is finally the support coming through. I think Arrow was just trying to pick up as much audio cues as possible before he makes a move, and that will actually allow some rotations coming through from Brute as well. And do bear in mind, we have the circle almost close. It's going to be an Arsa finish with a lot of these hilly areas to its south side and Zhangya in play as well, and we can see multiple teams taking that center position. We are trying to catch that shift in a matter of seconds. It's going to be an Arsa finish with a lot of the city, the entirety of the city in play, and it's going to be that and the southern part of that city. And so KDV and Team Big will have some breathing room still, because they do have a spot in that circle.
I'm actually interested in the side of both the special ones and also Team 1, as well as the Lion King around this kind of valley, if you like, inside the center of the zone. As you kind of look at a map here, perhaps, Tarzan, you actually will see them positioned not only in the center of the zone here, actually hold that, because Futsal look like they could be trapped on that southerly rotation away from the side of Aphelion Apex. So they're looking to try get revenge with a full squad this time, moving into the zone for game number 2. And it, to say, Chirpis said losing his vehicle will be dramatic for this team. Now just going to hide in the bush, but I think he might not be long for as well. Do you see the rest of the team have already rotated away from him?
I think with some smokes, he can still grab that car, and upon driving that, his team is in position to overlook this, but he's left himself to be choked, basically, and the rest of his team is maybe gone. Let's have a look. Yeah, they just like dipped. He said, "You're dead by."
And you're gone, I'm afraid.
Such a sad one. And let's head back here because round 2 is here. They both got a little bit of reset. Venya is still dead. Team Big is one knocked right now. They are continuing with this compound defense as they face the push of KDV.
Looking for more. Is he hungry for all of those kills? Revenge for their fallen brothers and sisters here, as it will be now Team Big. Arrow separated away from the rest of them in his own little shack. Might just be his tomb here if he can't find some support from the rest of his members. But a grenade goes wide through the smoke, and Trofka will be sniped down by it, and that puts KDV down to 1. Also, Arrow will fall, but not before a second of KDV goes with them. And Bus Station going to be the only one alive, trying to make their way round behind the building, revive the side of Trofka, but the vision will be there from Suicide. But this is going on for the side of Big.
Team Big, oh my yay, they can get so much momentum if they can win this fight, and that is them trying to push the last member to finish what they've started. And yes, they held it down after all. 5 kills and not even losing a single player. Team Big making it count. They are in this to win this. But very close to that area, we also have at the side of NS maybe coming in. But they've been playing very, very slow Highland Wolf on that western edge.
Yeah, I wanted to repeat there just the fact that the Lion King and the side of 2-1 teams there have actually got that central compound. Particularly the Lion King have a really strong outlook over El Azahar. They're going to have the vision across not only the compound itself, but a road going right through it as well, which means they can also now not only control the entrance to the entire compound and the compound itself, but also have that strong high ground position where other teams can't quite easily reach them. They're going to have to also be careful, though, they don't get trapped if that zone goes for a wide rotation.
And Chicken's just really testing his limits right here. Teams are going to come in. Look at in the likes of Drunk Banners, V13, and Daos Legion, all on that northern part of the map. Soon they will come into render distance of this area of control by the Lion Kings, and that is going to be quite a brutal shoot down, if I do believe. So let's just look at this, man. The hard shift going to the southwestern side. That is going to be a crazy one. I want to look at how Lion King takes this. They know their position is strong, but how long do they want to hold it for is the question, Highland Wolf.
Can either go for kills here or go for that position. We saw teams who stayed for kills in game number 2 in Miramar last night get caught out in the final zones and fall down at the final hurdle, but you do actually see one here making their way into the zone. They will be one team from the northern side who could actually gatekeep not only the Lion King, but all of these teams coming through the ridge and through that valley, if you like, if those teams choose to do so. But what I think these teams will be doing is what we see Daos Legion actually trying to attempt, is going up across the mountain and coming in behind the Lion King and trying to make a scout rotation through there, see if it's clear, and from there, if it is, make a fast rotation either inside the gully or come up with a slower rotation up above the hill.
Yes, and that is experience right there. Daos Legion didn't go through the city. If we play this map enough, we do know that the eastern side of El Azahar is will provide with a lot of those ridge lines for them to cross without being shot by the Lion King. And they're in here, they have basically used that knowledge to flank around, and they have killed the chicken.
But the chickens will also find one themselves, maybe even two. Fire is going low, but has to dip behind the tree, trying to go for the first down onto one, but Suicide will stay alive, and Weiser still is down. Can't quite finish him off. Will actually take the shot from the side of Non-Stop from the long range. Wayne Boy finds a snipe, and now also Big from behind, though. Finds a double. An arrow now going for the full clean out of the side of TLK, but they make the return. They make the 2 kills, and that will be now TLK keeping themselves alive with only one member on the smoke. But keep in mind that position with Wayne Boy can see them when that smoke disappears with V13 moving in.
V13 is just overlooking that one, and Daos Legion is basically a 4-way fight, and that is Team Big UK, the winners of Game 1, getting buried amongst 3 teams, and the V13 have 3 kills and also a good position, full team up still, and they are going to breach this. Pyrus really need to hold this down. He's the last one sending for the Lions.
Yeah, played it smart here. They've taken down Daos Legion behind them, so they're going to have to also either revive, take the time that they need. You see Fires dodging out the grenades, trying to find one of his own, but it's just a matter of time. He will surely fall. Tries to throw a grenade, finds the Kobe onto one, but it's not going to be enough potentially. Maybe finds a 2, maybe he does. No, it doesn't. It won't be just now. Jay will keep himself alive, but is vulnerable to fire from other teams coming in. All the meanwhile, DL, Daos Legion, who did lose a couple, are now getting chewed up by the Phase 5 Blue Zone, are going to struggle with their rotation in because that zone is playing nasty.
Oh, and that is also one on the other side trying to hold this. Team 1, we haven't seen them quite enough this game. They've got a very good spot to enter into the next circle, can play a lot of dips, etc., and can have immense control on the eastern half of the map. Daos Legion continues to get choked in the blue, but Qodex is a team that we haven't talked about quite enough. Val is not right now. Weight is gone. The rest of the team really need to come into support now that is Zarakiri pulling up onto SKY.
Someone killed you, and it will be Qodex. It might just fall here as Tabush makes to make 1 kill, but now with a rotation for the rest of Qodex moving in for the blue zone, they have to be a little bit careful. Don't get too aggressive. Use the ridge line here to maybe throw the grenade onto Zaki and actually take them down. Tabush here moving down. The grenade finds him over the ridge, blows up right in his face. The present he did not want there for Valentine's Day himself, and that will be Mahmoud. They're making a return fire of a grenade there onto the side of Qodex, but won't find one properly. A second goes over to Bushy's head. That will not land either. Meanwhile, the rest of Sky separated, but a double grenade finds onto 2 members of Qodex, and now be Zarakiri, the only player alive for Qodex. Make that almost him going down. The grenade brutalizing Qodex.
Oh my god, and SKY did it well. I think for a lot of players, they may not have the discipline to not peek that. They need to know that the second Qodex come beyond that ridge, the teammates are there to support. So the 2 players of SKY, they're doing exactly as they should, and they will just take those win, will now enter into the circle, whilst the 2, upon that 2-2 split, the teammates have the entry spot and the anchorage point.
You see Mahmoud there with the rest of the team. Now that we're taking down Qodex, they've finished them off. Qodex, albeit, do have 1 stray member, maybe causes an upset later on, but they are severely weakened. It will be Sky to make their way closer in the zone. But inside the zone here, we see 1 has actually taken control of this ridge. You see them going to have advantage of these teams moving in from the side of the west, where those majority of teams are. You see 3 of them lined up. Decided Drunk Bandits, so also looking for revenge. The double grenades go over onto Sky, or someone kills you, whichever you want to say. But DeVito, he might be the next first down for the side of Sky, and yes, he will. But not actually, no, he will not. It will be stolen out by the side of AE.
That's him living long enough to grab some placement points. Hashtag here. Ay. Team 1 has a good position, right? But it looks okay on the mini-map, but we have to assess the covers that they get. And that is them just losing 1 after the next Princess is now pinched behind that rock, will just be able to make out of the damage range of that vehicle explosion. And that is them down to 2 players, but Daniel Boy will just send it back in. And they're just being looked at. Zarakiri solo trying to hold it all down. And we have the clash on the other side still.
Yeah, Zarakiri will be the perpetrator to try stop that excellent position that potentially one will have. But on the other side, we have Aphelion Apex also struggling inside the smoke. Despite the fact they get that snipe off, they do reveal their position and they have to use smokes just to keep themselves alive here. Sky also in the meanwhile now making their quick rotation and also will be doing so by Futsal, making that rotation as now it reaches phase 6. The zone shrinks once more and these teams looking for a position back in.
This type of circle as well, with all the landscapes, not about where you had to, it's about how and when you need to time it well. Futsal is moving in from the northern side. SKY has an anchorage point on the south.
There he goes. Qodex finds the double, but will get taken out by Futsal. Someone killed you, are going to keep themselves alive for now on that ridge line. It will protect them from the rotations and non-stop also coming in. Aphelion will not prevail though. They also go down to someone killed you. They will not make it in. They will take 4th position in this game. Non-stop still need to make it in with Wayne Boy and Taziz, the only players alive, but 4 kills for themselves. The leaders in the kills right now, 8 towards someone killed you.
For the 3v2 situation, none of them have a spot in the circle. There's only these small dips that they can use, and that is Futsal still wanting to use the car for rotation in this end zone.
Yeah, interesting decision there, but they do get caught out. This is an open ground finish, Futsal. You don't want to reveal yourself with that vehicle and drive 2 people in it. Actually just ends up costing them more time on this rotation than had they walked over that, using that ridge line that they got just to kind of bend down, come underneath the hill, and keep themselves inside the zone. You see Non-Stop are just going to be having a heck of a time to try and make it inside this zone. Still, they have not moved. Tezzy's looking maybe for the long-range snipers. Sky poke their heads out, but Sky looking so dominant, and Azam might get caught by this very silent Non-Stop.
Just made it in, and it's fine if you want to drive, but the support needs to be there, the smokes need to be deployed early enough, and N is trying to push this.
Yes, they do. They find it. They were quiet all game, and maybe they be the upset on Sky from rear to maybe potential chicken dinner. Hammered and smacked out of their hands by the side of Non-Stop. They are the ones that are looking to take this chicken dinner home in game number 2. They throw the smokes down. Futsal with their slow rotation from that car blunder earlier on are also going to be struggling as Non-Stop just continue their aggression. Taboosh with the Uzi looking to try and make it over the ridge line. Maybe finds a pot shots onto Tez. A couple more bullets into him will do it. Wayne Boy from behind though maybe finds the spray right through in return, but as he's just driven to 1 HP, will refuse to go down right now as more smoke comes over the top of him.
Just using those soft covers there, Taziz was able to lift just enough, and that is Tabush still holding. The ridgeline will be in their favor. It all comes down to the last bit of shift. It's so small we can't even see it, but I believe SKY has the ridgeline to peek and shoot, but Futsal can really spoil that with that little bit of high ground, but NS might be a little bit stuck behind this side here.
Yeah, now NS, they've been a little bit too slow. They have no longer the ridge lines. It's only downhill from here unless they find a beautiful snipe. Maybe by the side of Sky, though, it will be onto Futsal. They try and make a risky rotation down. They get caught out, lose 2. Now it's Terps is the only one alive now. But all the meanwhile, in that distraction, Tezzy takes his opportunity and smacks Taboosh down onto the ground. And it will be now Mahmood, the only one alive. But Tezzy will go down, keeps himself alive. Terps now coming in for the back door attempt, trying to janitor away and steal this chicken dinner. But it will now be the fight, the 1 versus 1. Can Mahmood take himself alive? Goes round and bust, but it will be turned. Low health, but it's not going to matter. It will be the side of Mahmood potentially here, and it will be still someone kills you here, taking home the chicken dinner with not only the chicken dinner from rear position, but also a beautiful 11 kills.
Someone killed you is the name. I did ask myself if they didn't do well, that would be a little bit of a sad name. But there they are, here to take this 11 kill chicken dinner in this game too. Futsal showing up as well, 4 kills and a second place. This circle was kind of in their favor, but like I said, it's not about where you had to, sometimes it's how and when. So they timed their rotations decently, and they made it to top 2. They will shoot up the leaderboards, but they need to keep up with that performance, because like we said, Highland, with 4 teams out of 16 will make it to the semis, and in 3rd place didn't really disappoint, showing a lot of potential, is the side of Non-Stop, taking a 3rd place and 9 kills. AE Aphelion Aphelion Apex is the name. Remember them as they take this 4th place with 3 kills in the second game. Qodex made it to top 5 with 5 kills. 5 kills also is done by Team 1, who also took the 6th place. Drunk Bandits didn't get any kills, unfortunately, but they will have a 7th place finish. At 8th place, we saw, I've complimented Daos Legion a little bit on their rotations, but yeah, they've put up a good fight like through that mid game, but unfortunately went out at 8th position with 5 kills.
Yeah, you see V13 there in 9th position with 5 kills themselves. Union going to take 10th with 0. 11th will be decided Lion Kings, unfortunately, there with only 3 kills. Big will take 12th in 2 kills as well. It will be side of Special Ones in 13th position with 0. And the other big team here in 14th, excuse me for not knowing which is who.
This one is the UK one, Mystic Suicide, yes.
Yep, 5 kills there, and in 15th position will be KDV with 1 kill, and in the rear position there, 16th I do believe will be Eli with only 1 kill as well.
Yeah, Elina eSports need to show up. I don't think they had a strong game 1 as well, but we all know the powers that teams can show in the match.
So what Hey Gaming did, right?
Exactly.
And suddenly they show up with double-digit kills. They show up with a high position. It's not over yet. They just need to have faith.
Same for Team Big UK here. I know, like, you don't even get any like placement points until you get to like 12th place, but you get the same amount, 1 point until as far as when you made it to top 8. So you get 2 points if you're 7th. If you have a 14th place finish, those 5 kill points really keep you in the run for this top. So especially if they've because they've got that 1 win in the bag already, Highland Wolf. So I will still be watching, and I think there is still a good chance that Team Big can take this if they show the consistency.
Yeah, I think it's all still on the board here, particularly because, as you mentioned again, someone killed you going from rear position to the double-digit kills, the chicken dinner as well in game number 2. Actually, what we will see on the leaderboard right now, if you think of it in your head, is actually just a very even leaderboard of the teams that were low down in game number 1, doing well in game number 2, and vice versa for the rest.
Yes, and then that is us done for now. And wait, did I also... Okay. Wait, I need to check this. Oh my god, I've done it again. I've forgotten to change that bit there, the banner. Okay, now I'm gonna change it. Sorry guys, quite a few technical things tonight, and but hopefully you're still enjoying it, because these teams played really well, and we'll be back in a few minutes for game 3. Like we said, here is going to be Erangel in for our match 3. And welcome back. So ready for this Erangel action. Same like Miramar, a lot of rotational plays with vehicles, etc. Want to see these teams to use those skills in scouting, etc. as well to show what they're made of, Highland Wolf.
Super excited to go back onto the greeny pastures of Erangel and see what these teams are made of, because this is where you approach the third game, and this is where we start to see where these tables are really going to turn for whichever teams, Tarzan. You saw last night, just as mentioned before the break, how just like that, it can just change in an instance for a team and have that potential then to make it back into the top four. And the fact that both teams on all sides of the leaderboards, where you have Sky in last position from game number 1, going to first position game number 2. You've got teams like Big falling into, I believe it was 15th or 14th position in game number 2 after having that chicken dinner in number 1. And even teams potentially, actually, I think the real winners here might be the likes of Aphelion Apex, where they kept Cold alive to second place in game number 1 and didn't do so bad in game number 2. They would be at the top of the leaderboard more so.
And I think for this type of tournament at this time as well, for those who will qualify to the regional groups for PMCO, this is a time to study each other's playstyle as well as drop locations, rotational paths. All those things will be very, very important for them to take those early advantages if they meet each other in the PMCO.
Yeah, for sure. This is all going to be practice and training for these teams going into next week's games, where it just starts to get real. I was gonna say it, I swear, and I was like, should I? It's like it's the same, but it's like where the S gets real, basically, Tarzan.
True. Let's find out these two teams of trios. That is going to be Special 1 CIS, Team 10 playing as a trio in this game. Also for Team Big, Junior playing as a trio. So 16 teams, still very good. We do have those numbers after all, and we will have this playing path on Erangel going from just off the north side of Mansion towards Quarry.
Yeah, the fact that we've actually got this very central playing path once again here, Tarzan, means that teams are going to be able to drop exactly where they want. And I'm a little bit sad, though, because it does mean that we might not see so much of Sovnovka. I just love a Sovnovka drop, these locations where you don't usually get to see teams going. But what we might get to see, though, is around this central area farm mill. So we didn't get to see that yesterday. A little bit of a change in direction and pace for this game.
Yeah, South Georgia Pool very highly contested as well usually, so the teams should be able to make it there with a little bit of a glide towards Hospital. But if they like positions like Zaki, Severny, and the North Georgia Pool, it may be slightly harder to reach. So once again, those knowledge when it comes to vehicles one is very, very important. AE, we've seen some strong showings from them. They made it to top 2, second place in Sanok with just a solo, and this is them dropping off the plane pretty early, claiming Lipovka with no contest. Trio 3x1 split from S1 around Mansion area, prison and shelter split coming from NS. Some congestion around Pachinki, and that will be a very, very interesting one.
Yeah, the fact that 3 teams here will be dropping around Pachinki means that the action will get real fast here around this southern end compound. And the fact that I expect actually just maybe like El Pozo, we might see a couple knocks there. We do see one begin to go down. It does look like one of the sides of DB Drunken Bandit is actually losing to somewhere else on the map against Union, but this will be against the Lion King, Eli, and also the side of KDV.
3 teams in Pachinki right now. Good old Pachinki. Look at Elina holding those eastern compounds, fighting a side angle onto Evo Nation. The first knock did come through from KDV themselves, and but big pincer formation from Elina. Very hard to move into the middle bits because the Lion Kings are also there. The knock that got onto Drunk Bandits that they've lost one actually was happening around the Gatka fields.
The fact that KDV were also split here, they try to group up, but instead it just turns into a downfall, lose a second player now knocked down, and it will be Boss Station and Venia needing revived, but they do both have teammates there for each of them, which means they will keep themselves alive for now. Decide if someone kills you will also take one down onto Daos Legion on kill feed there, up towards, I do believe, the northern side of Jasnai Poliana.
Ooh,
Sky losing a second, nice snipe.
Well, will that be the case? One bad game and a win, and back to a very rough start on Erangel here. Daos Legion, very, very strong team. I've seen them in other tournaments. They're here to win this. SKY need to really make this work. Also, a clash happening around school and apartments area between Team Big UK and a very strong squad, which is Qodex.
Yeah, these 3 fights breaking out, both around side of Eli and KDV. A second grenade finds a second member of KDV, and that will be now Venia falling down, as well as Trovka, but they did manage to get the other 2 revived back up, and that means that they will still have some chance, albeit smaller now, against the full wrath of Eli, who are a little bit split as well. You see that 1-2 split is going to be their downfall. We still have that advantage over Kote, but in comes the side of Lion Kings, but not before KDV said, just we've had enough, and the Lion Kings get put down a peg as one of them get knocked. Make it 2.
Make it 2, and that's Evil Station making it work across that little bit of a how should I call it? It's not even corridor, but that space between the sets of compounds of Pachinki. The Lion King aggressively taking the rooftops. You really need to know the limits of that. Looking at those, using a third-person peek, finding out those positions of the players so that you can position properly. That is going to be Virus trying to eliminate this pressure from the side.
Virus using the wall there, unfortunately, decided KDV jump up over the wall, deny the fact that they could have used that for blockade, but in comes a return snipe from their teammate, and now they will get an actually flush out, but not before Eli are also coming in. You see them pinstering now against Brute. The sole player inside this building will need to go upstairs. Be careful that door is open. Eli with Wally will have vision over him if he goes up towards the stairs, looking potentially for that grenade up onto that second floor, assuming he's gone up, but not just yet. A little bit too fast. In fact, he's even higher for his teammate. Here's Lex is going on the roof like Spider-Man.
Flexen knows his position. He's cleared everything from the northern side now. He's comfortably taking this roof position and will reverse pinch the Lion King. They took those center positions, didn't really make any third party happen for themselves. So that will be them missing an opportunity, a 3v2 v1 right now. So that is going to be 6 players. So 6 players gone already in Pachinki in this 3-way fight.
Your friendly neighborhood Lexa is going to now jump up onto the second roof here, getting a better angle onto the side of Lion King as they maybe make their ascent down towards KDV, maybe get too aggressive, will get caught out in that scenario, but Brute is now on top of a roof himself, looking to try get that vision off on the ground of these buildings. Is that fight will now just subside for a few moments. We do obviously note that that phase 1 zone did go over hard to that western side, which means some teams who dropped like Aphelion Apex earlier on that eastern side will need to make that long trip all the way back into the zone.
And there's as well also around farm. It's a very, very hard shift towards the southwestern parts of the map. Quarry and the Gatka fields were very, very important here. If these teams do want to go for wide rotation from the northern parts, a position like Everest can be very, very strong, but of course they need to keep some anchorage point coming into the more center position, but leaving 1 or 2 there won't be a bad idea, I don't think.
Yeah, I definitely think these teams taking control of the high ground is the way to go, because right now with a zone like this, you expect that teams will be using the time in phase 1 to be rotating in, and now is when you actually want to be using that high ground point to get the vision, not later when teams are already inside of that zone and already have a position for themselves established. But still in the side of Pachinki, this fight continues to endure with the side of the Lion Kings, who thought they had that strong engage earlier on, have now put themselves in a little bit of a tricky position. Both Lion King, so and as well as Elina are split, but it will be Deta getting shot upon by Wally, but not the finish comes out. Has to be careful as Lexa also now knows their location. You see Lexa will come over that rooftop to try find the angle, but Deta smart here, moves back around to retreat and hope that his teammates Chickens can hope to try be that secondary support.
This is a lot of patience coming through from all these teams. Really, really important. Giving away footsteps in this type of fight is not going to be easy. Eli, I thought they have the upper hand, to be fair, with the numbers advantage, but Kote would just get knocked down by Brute. Brute trying to bring KDV up the leaderboard by himself, and then meanwhile, what we missed as well was Team Big UK getting taken out by Qodex around the school area, as well as Daos Legion losing their lives in Yasnaya.
Yeah, Big UK losing their spot in this third game means that they will struggle now to really make a stand going into Miramar once again later on. But right now, it's all on Erangel action. And this will be where they're going through the smoke, trying to keep himself alive with the Uzi, going rampant potentially. But he doesn't find anyone to go ramble mode on. And it will be the Lion Kings behind him trying to catch up, while KDV, or meanwhile, Bruce says adios to the rest of these teams and goes back into the zone.
Another little bit of congestion on this eastern side. S1 lost one of the players, I believe, on rotation. So down to a duo there, and with the team of NS rotating very close to them through those hills to the southeastern side of Pachinki, and AE finally making it through. I mean, they've dropped pretty far, but with no contest there, they're able to get some uncontested loot, now rotating around, and the likes of SKY actually holding it strong still. We thought they're going to lose it in this one, but they are still in here, but there's some rotations for them to make from all the way from Yasnaya.
Yeah, a marathon rotation they will need to make, and that's going to cost them later in the game, albeit they may be safe now. Not so safe, though, when getting shot at. Now their vehicle smoking is Aphelion, though, and that will be Cold getting out of that vehicle just in time to stop Zarakiri, blowing him into smithereens. But Luki is behind him on the other flank, as well as Faller from behind, and there's no escape with Wait as well coming in, and it just completely surround Cold. Cold goes down before Rusty Boy and Pleasant can get into the fight. But here comes the return fire. Will they find Wait? No, they won't. It goes a little bit short. And now comes also the vehicle rotation. They're looking to try use Cold as a bait to come into the fight, with Zarakiri coming in. Rusty Boy now coming in even closer. But that hill going to separate him a little bit, almost getting shot into the tree. They lose another as Blessing goes down. As Zarakiri now making that 1v1 against Cage, but does go down. The high ground over the low will prevail for now, and Zarakiri will actually get himself flushed out, and that will now be 1 to 2 knocks for the side of Qodex. Still advantage, but make that a double as Wait also falls down. Fowler going round for the flank, but Luki gets an excellent grenade into his face, and that will now put Qodex even lower. But never mind, it takes a grenade. Only one in return to do the damage. You say, I can do damage to you as well, says Luki, as he finds a complete knock-up, a complete knockdown in first, and it will be Cage now on his own to try defend against both Fowler and Lucci. As Fowler moving in to try revive Wait. The smoke road from Lucci also providing denial of vision from Cage.
There's another team coming close to the area that is going to be Dreaming, trying to scout this out. He tried it to rotate around and to get a relative high ground, but a little bit too split, and that will be them going out at 14th place. Qodex is now needing to reset because Dreaming and the rest of NS is watching over this area like the hawk.
No respite for the side of Qodex here. Is now the trio will have to back off into the open hills to try find either a position to stand strong or fight non-stop on this hillside that they just won against Aphelion. Keep in mind the Lion Kings are also moving in as that fourth team along the eastern side. Could be that upset to the party. On the other side of the map, though, it is going to be that later congestion on the west, where these teams vying for maybe a spot around Gatka Fields.
Seems like we're not done in Pachinki Highland Wolf. That is still the fight going on in here. But the likes of NS rotating into here can really change the dynamics of this one. They did get the pickup. I thought they've lost that one. Kote get picked up within all those fights. Chicken need to run away like a chicken right now. He's just trying to kill himself before the enemies kill him. I think that is a decent maneuver, to be fair. Not to give away one kill point. We all know 1 point can make all the difference in the world for these type of tournament play, and that will be Elina eSports holding Pachinki still. But how long will that be the case? Streaming once again, scouting in, and will want to stop the rotations coming out from Elina eSports.
Yeah. Eli there, they have that advantage now, the 2-1 split. They actually find one onto Tezza as well, moving in, not respecting the fact that Eli have control over Pachinki compound. But keep in mind where the zone is. It is actually in favor of non-stop, and it will be the side of Elina. It needs to move out, or Elina, sorry, excuse me, need to move out of the Pachinki compound area and back into the zone, which could cost them on a rotation themselves.
If I were NS, I will just play very, very safe. Like, Dreaming is in position to maybe stop these rotations, but if he has the trigger discipline, he should maybe pincer them as they try to rotate. But with the knowledge of NS in the area, Elina eSports should rotate wide, but just look at all these open fields in this next circle. Qodex got a spot in the north part of the Gatka Chopsticks, the main Gatka compound held by Union, as well as Team 1 there, but the congestion mostly happens on this sets of compound to the north side of Quarry. A lot of hill areas, a lot of outplay potential, and these teams are in here to win this. SKY now finally in the circle as well.
Yeah, they make their long rotation through the Everest path. I actually like the position right now as special ones, particularly in this zone here, because they have not only a point to go towards the center of Gatka Fields, but they also control the high ground hills going into it. And they're going to be able to take advantage of that and have the vision of these teams moving around that congested west side inwards to the second phase and through that second phase, sorry, and into the third. But I quite also like, on the other end, Qodex, who actually have that compound on the opposite end of Gatka Fields towards the east, and they're going to catch those teams moving out of Pachinki non-stop, and also Elina moving into the zone that way.
Elina just need to find those cars as they retreat away from the southeastern side of Pachinki. They made it out alive, and along those main roads there might be still a good amount of vehicles for them to pick up, and that will be them living another day, just taking that win, you know. 3 kills for them in that chaotic Pachinki early game fight. They will live another day, and yes, I think we just need to wait for the Circle Highland Wolf to dictate the pace of the later phases of this game.
Yeah, this will be a slower Erangel game for now. We've had that slow round of Pachinki roll over and into now the mid-game phase, where Union Power here control the center compound of this phase. And it will be Qodex moving in as well now. You also see in the distance their closest rival, though, Team 1, who are going to be overlooking that compound, looking for potentially a fight to break out in the center to then be able to move in. I don't think any team realistically are going to be looking for that engage, but what I do like in terms of positioning here is actually Qodex using the chopstick scutters here and actually using that peak, that vision advantage that they can actually get by going along the gutters and not being seen, while still maintaining vision of a large portion of these field areas.
And that is such a good split. I think the chopsticks are strong if you know how to play it. Leaving to who will get more information to prepare, wait, in terms of people who may just get funneled into the chopsticks are very, very important. If you send all of them in there, you lose a lot of a chance to grab these information. So Qodex in a very good spot right now, but of course that is not going to be the case very long. There's going to be a sudden shift. V13 is in here in a position to be, oh my god, just raining down those shots upon those teams who are rotating, but they want a better spot. They will be getting a more center position. Also very quickly rotating in from the northwestern side as well are the Drunk Bandits. They've got 1 kill right now. The Vito has lost his life, but this compound is still decently strong. But problem is, may not be so strong. With respect to the positions of main Quarry, which is now held by V13.
Yeah, you talk about these overlooks, just like in Miramar, we mentioned about how a hilltop overlooking a compound can be so strong to deny and engage. And you see V13 doing this against strong bandits now with the quarry. It's going to be that steep hill they'll overlook these teams moving in, which is going to be really smart to get that wall of vision, if you like, of these teams now making those quick rotations because of how dangerous that zone in phase 3 has shifted. V13, I think what they will do now is rotate a couple members here, as you see, going around to the other side of quarry to deny not only flank rotations, but also have that insurance if the front line does fall.
Complete control of Quarry. I do like that one a lot. The 2-2 split. Irango 2.0, baby. The south side of Quarry is strong with a lot of overlook. Look at these beautiful bits. That decision made by V13 allows them to scout every side, and if teams are forced to run into the middle of Quarry, they will just pincer them and rain and kill them immediately. So let's have a look at the south side of Quarry and appreciate how good this game looks.
Yeah, the fact you've got on one side open fields, you've got a road on the other, is both open, dangerous territory for teams to be engaging upon, which means, as you mentioned, is such a strong position to be holding. But the fact they have done this right and they are controlling what could be that slightly dangerous quarry compound to take. Footballers, on the other hand, do take, footballers, not footless, wrong team
Futsal
there, same
is the
tag.
name.
They do have
Same
the same
tag.
tag. Yeah, Futsal there will control the hill that the side of V13 did just take up, though. And that means that they will have high ground advantage for themselves in terms of vision of teams moving around perhaps that coastal line. If they move a little bit further down, they'll see Team Big Junior, Qodex, non-stop moving through that roadside.
And Qodex made it all the way in the clockwise white rotation will bring them to therapy, sharing the same idea as NS. But look at S1 here, down to a duo, but not afraid to fight, finding the double knot onto
double.
Union.
Maybe gets a triple, but will go back, and it will be Daddy Depressed taking now a split drop with Supmaker to try find that first onto the third player, not letting up for these revives, and they will catch the spot of both of them, but the engagement isn't synergized, and that means that they actually do have a little bit of a tricky time to catch that third member. You now see they do get away with one. They weren't quick enough just yet. With that zone moving in, they will definitely catch two players, but they should be able to catch the third. Supmaker will overlook this entire fight and allow that cover for Daddy Depressed to move in.
At what price, though? At what price, Highland? With the blue is coming in and choking up their health bars right now. The good thing is they don't have so far to rotate for this next circle, as well as we have a northern shift will place Futsal actually in a good position in this mid-late game. That is going to be a bleed out. Union is down to 1.
Union Power, they're actually going to lose 2, and it will only be Endius now, the only player alive. Will use that buggy to try escape, and I think he should make it out because Supmaker wasn't quite quick enough on those shots. You see him just going a little bit wide, and he does survive for now, keeping himself inside this game. Equally, Qodex are looking to come up from the south end and make it into the north of this zone. Going to be fighting their own battle against the side of the Elina there.
Elina down to 2. They are just tanking the blue a little bit, waiting, planning onto the white rotation. Sometimes you make a wide clockwise rotation. This is maybe the time to make a wide anti-clockwise one. There's a lot of grounds they need to cover, and around these hillsides in the area, in the circle, SKY and Futsal both have a spot, but the side of SKY might be getting pushed a little bit as they pick up that teammate. Not a big trouble, and this is in the area but doesn't have the high ground.
Yeah, the fact that they have this open ground between them, they also have this ridge to take control of. It's going to be so strong for the side of someone kills you to actually keep themselves alive in this game towards the final circles. They have a fairly central position. If that zone does shift towards the western side, they can move along that ridge line, still keep cover from teams like Non-Stop, which means their position will still remain strong moving later into this game, which is what you want. You talked about that pincer movement, though, and it does look like KDV. They put themselves inside the lobster pincers of B13. It's brute, maybe in a hard spot.
Just cruising through the middle of Quarry. He should pay the price, and he does. And that is KDV going out at 11th place. Qodex will find an entry spot. Seems like they need to know Quarry better. They made it to this Harry Potter tower, but for how long? V13s has given up the position on the southern side. Will go full send on the northern part to stop these teams from the south side from rotating in. Also get incredible amount of information from the northern parts, and that is Drunk Bandits still in that same compound.
The fact that Drunk Bandits still just cannot move because of the strength of the side of V13's position, they have been forced to wait on this rotation. But now that V13 have moved down the hill, it will allow Drunk Bandits a little bit of ease. A little bit of ease of room there to move down into the zone. You see them making that quick rotation. Qodex will also now find another onto Elina as they will lose a second. Wally going down, but here comes from the other side Team Big Junior now looking for the rotation and almost losing one going into the warehouse, but they will keep themselves alive at half health.
And this is a time to decide when to fight or when to rotate. We all know the position of the Futsals being very, very hard for other teams to breach. So this is Qodex here trying to put some pain down before they need to rotate upon the pressures from Futsal. Drunk Bandits, though, was able to make out of that. The split attention from V13 to overlook the side, the eastern side fights has made them lost some opportunity to frag.
What we have gained is more opportunity here, and despite the fact that Drunk Bandits now have escaped and now are actually going to take an opportunity for themselves, although they get this pick onto Wally, they are in a hard position. They can't go over this ridge for the side of Futsal being there, and they can't easily rotate around the other side because Lucci will get spotted out potentially by V13 from behind, which means they will find themselves trapped here as they rotate outside to the inside of this zone onto the edge. It's going to be no real way to find inside without taking one of these teams down.
The safety of Futsal's position is actually very time dependent. As teams flow in from the northern side, they may not be able to do the gatekeeping of against the teams on the south. So Team Big Elina is still in there, of course. Coming into the area is Qodex as well, but there is going to be some fight between SKY on this eastern edge.
This SKY, though, are a little bit split, which means, the fact that Tabushi has been knocked down far away from that fight for non-stop, puts him at a severe disadvantage. Sasuke is just going to get sniped away, and so will Tabushi for a double measure, and it will now just be non-stop obliterating through the side of someone killed you, sending Sky to the heavens. And it will be now Wayne Boy looking upon Big Junior to pick up more.
Well, NS made that work. They breached this one, and SKY didn't hold it down. So the new kings of this spot is actually the side of Non-Stop. Non-Stop made it in, and they've got a spot in the circle with those type of landscape. They can maybe take out Futsal across the hill as well.
The fact that also V13 look to be struggling as Jexa will now be in the blue zone, vulnerable as they didn't deny that rotation away from Qodex. The grenades just the last pity attempt really with these smokes as well to try block vision as they make their way through the blue zone, but they had to come over that ridge sometime. All the meanwhile that phase 6 zone will just chew through that health bar, and now with V13, despite their strong position at the start of the game, gonna fall, but not before they do some real damage to Qodex. Now will also delay their rotation, and as Drunk Bandits wanted will just get completely deleted from the front side, and now Anonymous will need to come in to try come together as a team with his teammate there for Drunk Bandits before he gets caught by Special Ones and faces the same fate as Anonymous.
It's just so hard to get into the middle of that zone, man. Like, look at NS making it work. The split from them, very strong, very aggressive, wanting to control all angles, but that, I think it will work out for them, because look at the rich lines that these teams have to push through on that western side to get into the circle. NS is in this to win this. NS
with their strong position, the fact that they took down SKY earlier on, the fact that they controlled not only down the high ground ridge moving up, you see a sneaky Big Junior trying to make a move up, but NS has spotted you down there, hunting Junior. The double knock-up comes in, and now Watson's just going to have to try run through the bombs of the grenade coming on down to his head, and the blue zone as well. Phase 6 going to now just be the last-ditch attempt before he falls. The first aid won't come in quick enough, and an entire team of Big Junior fall down. It will be Qodex as well, keeping himself alive. Lucci in the blue zone will just try to keep himself long enough in this game. Is also Futsal will also go down, and that will be a complete wipeout of both Futsal and the Drunken Bandits. We're down to 4 teams. Eli will fall down to the blue zone as well. All the meanwhile, it will be Futsal here, keeping themselves alive. One player is Chaos, the only one. But look at his position here. Has the car with actually, keep in mind, actually, Turpis, sorry, excuse me, will be also here. And they will control this dip, which will not only protect them from special ones, but also from non-stop.
I think NS should be able to take this one. I mean, Lucci is just buying time. He can still go up a few positions points, though. Look at this beautiful side angle from Junie, knowing that he can just prone and crawl along that ridge line. And that is Futsal under immense pressure. They want to outlive the side of S1 here, but for how long? Will that even be possible?
Special ones, in the meanwhile, did take down Tezzers, but they have got this split again. Non-stop the first 2 games, weren't able to pull off this split. It paid off detrimentally for them. Chaos also moving in. Might just be distraction. A Dreamer needs that grenades go off. No, it will not, as they don't find Daddy depressed yet. Stuttmaker is still alive, healthy for now with half his HP. More so than can be said for Chaos, who will just need to come into the zone before he heals up. Never mind, because it will be Dreamer to snipe him out and send him into game number 4. As Dreamer now comes back down. 11 kills for non-stop, looking to make it 13, looking to make it that chicken dinner as he goes in. Charge, Stuttmaker will go down. Daddy Press will take the return kill for now.
The double
here
knock?
comes a rest. It will be 2, but it needs to make it another 1v2. It just won't be quick enough. Won't have enough bullets in his ammo, in his arsenal. And it will now be non-stop taking the chicken dinner for game number 3.
Non-stop taking that kill control away from SKY. Someone killed you, they say. Yes, it's them. It's the non-stop squad with this brilliant chicken dinner, with a little bit of the help from the gods of PUBG with that circle as well, but they played it so well. The control to sweep every edge on this side, then to expand the area of control. Very brilliant play from them as they take this chicken in. Brilliant work, and special one didn't go down without a fight. Daddy Dopras takes 5 kills and will get them a 2nd place finish. Futsal did play the rotational game. We did say sometimes when you're given the position, you need to know how to play it. They have one of the strongest spots, but they couldn't hold it long enough as they went out at 3rd place with 1 kill. Qodex, though, they are in here to farm this. Of course, Circle wasn't in their favor, but I think they played the control right, and that is exactly what they have to do. Under zone pressure, still able to grab a lot of kill points. 13 kills is the game they played. Qodex the 4th position with an immense amount of frags. Elina made it out of Pachinki and now made it to top 5 as well with those 3 kills that they got in the early game. Drunk Bandits, I thought they might just be choked there, but they timed it right upon enemies shooting and focus on the other side. They made that rotation, bring themselves to the 6th place with 3 kills. Team Big Junior doing a bit better. I mean, they didn't have 2 very good games, but making it to 7th place for 2 points without any kills is a good start, but I mean, might not be enough if they want to make it through to the next round. V13, though, we criticize them, we praise them, then criticize them. They've got the position, they know how to split, but you need to time the next rotation as they took 8th place with 1 kill.
You also someone killed you there in 9th position. 4 kills going down to the victors non-stop there earlier on. And that hilltop march, you have the side of Team 1 in 10th position with 1 kill. Union Power in 11th with 1 as well. KDV picking up 12th with a beautiful 4 kills. TLK the Lion Kings in 13th with 0 kills. 1 kill, sorry, excuse me. AE Aphelion will take up 14th with 2. Team Big UK in 15th position, and Daos Legion there in 16th. And I think this is where now we start to see this leaderboard begin to cement itself here. Despite the fact that Big, yes, they had that chicken dinner, they haven't had a great game 2, or nor a game 3, really. So unless they get an absolutely pop off here, for example, game 4, Tarzan, they are out of the running.
It's going to be really hard. I mean, this type of a schedule and the structure of this tournament, they just want the best teams to be in the semis, and that is just what they have to be put through. Really, showing themselves, it need to be the best of the best, and top 4 out of 16 teams, not easy, especially when they have fought through the group stages as well. But you know what? I think these teams know what they are like up against, and they can, through like the streams from the previous stage as well, they can prepare themselves. So I think for those teams who have practiced, who have studied and made it work for them, they are well deserved, right, for those spots.
Right. Yeah, I definitely think that now we're looking at really non-stop potentially as one of these top 4 contenders, despite the fact that they didn't have so much of a great game number 1, game number 2. They did finally here, Tarzan managed to make that split work because they had the strong position initially to come off with. And with that Dreamin' split allowed the 1 kill, but almost made it 2 in return. There just wasn't good enough from the side of Special Ones because it didn't have the firepower towards the end to take down the full squad. But either way, as I say, the amount of kills that non-stop have got puts them now potentially, if they have a good game number 4, to come back into the top 4.
It's completely possible. Like yesterday, I think 40 something points were enough. Maybe mid-40s, Highland Wolf. So in that single game, was it 13 kills? Right? 13 kills is... If it's 13, then they've got 28 points, just from that game. And so there is, if they can repeat that with a little bit of points coming from before as well, maybe they are there to take this away. And so we are going to find out in a matter of minutes as we go on to a short break. The next game will start in around 10 minutes, and we will see you all shortly. Let's not look away because we've got more Miramar action. Hey, and we're back. Another Miramar game. I love this map. Not trying to be biased, but I just like playing it. So yes, so some of what I know of the game is because I still kind of play it. I don't know whether all the casters do that. And Highland, you may want to hop into a game with me afterwards.
Oh man, is that an invite now? Finally, you want to spend time with me, Tarzan, after you denied me? Oh no, you don't want me to do that. that's a big mistake here, Tarzan. Hold the reins back on here for now. Before we go into game number 4, I do believe in game number 4 the action has just begun, or is beginning now, as we will see that playing path, come down onto our screens in the next couple of seconds. But what I do want to say is it's still do or die for some of these teams. Team Big, non-stop, even the likes of special ones who got that second place finish, they have been in the middle of the pack first 2 games. They need to also have a good game, even to extent Qodex, who were a team we talked about at the start, being one of these favorites to go on to the semi-finals. So the CIS team, known for their aggression, who also are on against the wall here for getting a good game.
Yes. And 16 teams still, 2 trios this game. Those 2 are, excuse me, a little bit thing in my throat, but Team Big Junior as well as Someone Killed You, SKY, both rocking a trio. This game, the playing path goes from off the western side of Tor Ahumada through that power grid area all the way towards Trimasera. And a pretty nice playing path here, but like we always say, it really comes down to the phase 1 circle to dictate that pace. Drunk Bandits first one off the plane, going to a pretty northern position. Daos Legion in here as well, heading towards Locoveria. So that is going to be some potential early conflict. A split coming from the trios of Team Big Junior around Hacienda del Patron, but in the main Hacienda del Patron compound we have AE there, KDV back to San Martin, so some round 2 action going on there. El Pozo not quite popular in this one.
What I'm interested to see is how Picardo will play out, because here we go, Elina plus non-stop back for second round. Ding ding goes a bell on Picardo Hills, and that will be see if Dreamin will fall down first and Elina take that repeat of what we saw. This time it will be non-stop though, inside a casino, who will take that advantage. On the other side, it does look like as well Qodex will be taking control of here a little bit by Team Big. Might be actually the other way around here, because Zarakiri and Wait have actually taken advantage of this wide split by Team Big so far, who are all on their 1-1-1 split now, with Mr. coming up to Arrows to make that a 2-1-1, as Wait looks to try find one on the back foot, but Jonah's already out there.
This is round 2, baby. They fought of each other. Qodex won that one in the game just now over at school and apartments. This is round 2 between these 2 teams. This time, Team Big UK has the upper hand, and this type of drop in Trimasera, you need to just really look at those parachutes, knowing the population of the enemy teams, whether you can pinch the solo out, and that will be Team Big taking the upper hand. Let's have a look at the map once again. Of course, we know that Picardo potential clash. V13 around the top side, the north side of Los Leones against Team 1 there is to maybe show themselves. We want to see a lot more from them. The Lion King will claim Montenuevo once again, but this phase 1 circle, oh my is not too harsh, but it will place a lot of these teams out of the map. It's going to be a southeastern shift, a lot of those hilly parts to the south of Los Leones in play, as well as all the mountain area close to Chimisera.
Yeah, I think Chimisera here will play a really important role going into the later stages of the game, and it's going to be because of the fact that not only the teams in the north side might rotate along the western coastline and come down that way because of just how his zone plays out, but hold that thought actually just now, as it does look like Elina take one on to Junie inside a casino, and that will be Wayne Boy looking to try strike in return, but Rannis is already outside, looking to try reposition here for the rest of their team. Will not get caught out for now. And that will just be a 1 knock shut down for now. It will also actually buy time for Wally to rotate here. And I think what Elina are doing with this knock is they're actually looking to try get a better position while non-stop pause here to revive Ginny rather than going in for the aggression and a bad position.
And that is Elina making it work, and a lot of control coming from them and knowing how to pincer the arena area. But let's not wait any further before bringing ourselves back to Streamer's What's been going on? This round 2 goes over to Team Big UK. Ding ding, that is almost done. Lucci running for his life right now, and how long will that be as he gets shot once again? Just need to zigzag his way out, and good luck, buddy, you will need that. And wow, round 2, quite exciting to see them fight each other once again.
The action all going to be happening around the center of this map, though, as teams rotate down out of Aphelion of the Patron and into the side of Picado Hills and around. So it will be Elina there taking their stronger position potentially now. Ted's and Dreaming being caught out. Elina will take one onto Wayne Boy as they flushed out the casino. It will be Junie getting rolled out of this 4th game, but in return they lose one outside as Elina also moved down to just 3 members. Junie will provide the vision for now while he stays alive, albeit knocked up, where Wally will be and where Ernest will be as well. Using that Molotov actually blocks the path a little bit of Junie as it will just finally finish this flush out. No real escape. Meanwhile, Cody on the top of the hill maybe finds one onto Dreamin' as well, as they will actually take the rooftop for themselves.
Really interested to see how these teams on the northern side rotate around that. Look at the congestion around Hacienda del Patron, as well as Saint Martin. We know the plane path go from basically top right to bottom left, so it's hard to say that they can safely go for right rotation heading towards El Azhar to come down along the eastern road, but they will need to just scout it out. And the Team Big, with a bit of split, we know they have a bit of a numbers disadvantage to start off with, being a trio, but they do have 1 kill, and very close to them the other trio is approaching to this area. That is going to be SKY, still up as a trio, 3 on 3 right now, potentially breaking out here.
Looking to pick up the kills that they did so earlier on in today's matches. Mahmood there positioning on the front to try take down the duo of Big Junior. And particularly, of course, Big Junior himself here in a bad position, caught inside Aphelion and the Patron, all alone with teams like Drunk Bandits moving in down from the north against him. There's no real easy way out, and I think this is bad if the side of actually SKY do move down really aggressively alongside Drunk Bandits. You see now actually Hopeless making that rotation over towards their teammate to try provide some more support for teams moving down.
I think Junie's picked up on some information, so they are in here to maybe pinch some rotating members of Drunk Bandits as we see them holding that 1-2 split. They've already lost 1 towards to the same team, and that is Vito here just winding that brilliant shots onto Team Big actually.
Yeah, the car will go by though for now. Won't be a knockout for the Vito. Does miss out an opportunity there with Wanted as well. For their team is down earlier on in this game. Makes them a trio versus trio here as Watson will control this front line, but it will go on a Murado, just on a little bit of a flip there, but we'll keep on driving by, and he goes towards now to Bush as well on the long side. Could knock him down if he's not too careful for his positioning. He takes up shop to try to be the vision man for Drunk Bandits.
And Futsal also moving in along that main road to the west of Los Leones. And the Los Leones initial potential clash has been taken away. So V13 will actually play more center to that southwestern side of Los Leones. KDV trying to come in as well. So most of the teams have a spot in their Daos Legion still quite late on that rotation with no contest around there. El Pozzo as well still need to rotate out of the Drunk Bandits trying to make it past this area against the 2 teams. A trio can be a 3-way fight. Anonymous trying to cruise through this bit of the Miramar, but his pickup is smoking. He just made it in here, and he will try to continue on the rotation. Oh wow. Could be heavily punished for that one.
On the edge of life here, Tarzan. Anonymous, that vehicle will pop eventually if it just takes one bullet into the face. Will pop as well on to sit down, and he might actually just be knocked down and will be done so by the side of SKY. You saw Sasuke as well making the rotation in, and that will be a punishment on that slow rotation for himself. Will not make it out of the congestion of teams towards the north side. Only Drunk Bandits keeping 2 alive into the first phase.
Beautiful flank coming as well. They know they have control on this eastern side of this main road. That will be Team Big needing to rotate out, but just whenever we claim a compound, right, Highland, we need to consider the escape strategy. And with this position as well, this quite not just in the open flat ground and outside of the circle, they need to make a plan right now. You know what can be also very tricky for them? The fact that Daos Legion are rotating in, if they do want to avoid the very compound heavy and the very hilly parts of Saint Martin, they may come into this area as well.
Yeah, I definitely think with this zone now coming in, albeit phase 1, we'll actually take the likes of Hopeless, who is already low. Yes, they do have these medkits, but it's not going to be loads and loads that they do have in their pockets, which means if they be slow in this rotation, it will take them time. You see, they are actually 1,100 meters already with the blue zone already ahead of them, which means they do have a little bit of a worry to get out of that position over in the north of Aphelion of the Tarzan. All the meanwhile, Picardo still rages on, and down on the south here, even Team Big with 4 kills already. The UK team making their stand to try and make their way into the semi-finals in that top 4 spot.
Taken 2 out for S1 there. Special ones will need to rotate around this. The fact that Team Big will just give up on the high ground to find a different spot that will provide the breathing room for Special One CIS, and that is on the other side. The team that's already there very long ago, V13, will push them away, and Suicide will lead the way along that main road now, taking a bit of a different spot. We'll swap into a different car and they will live for another day. KDV potentially stopping some rotations coming out of the last member of Qodex. Literally still in this game, but just got not really anything, got some good gear for him to go on, but KDV might be just watching him. You know what can be interesting? I was thinking all along, Highland Wolf, the third party pressure might be the trigger for these two teams in Picardo to really wrap it up, and that is Daos Legions in the area, and within Picardo is still going to be a 3v2 situation. Nothing has changed since we last watched them.
Yeah, we sort of see the fight break down and it subsided, and we saw these teams reset in their positionings around Picardo. But as you do mention, that third party will really be that catalyst to bring that fight to a close. Is now you actually see Non-Stop and also the side of Elina making potentially rotations around to the south. Picardo here looking for that gateway out if they need to. Union will find a couple onto Big as well as they just flush them out. Big Junior with their mid positions earlier on get caught out on that 2-1 split, and Union Power just obliterate them into the ground. 2 kills for themselves being picked up.
And let's head back to Picardo. Those 3 teams just need to really make their point now. But Daos Legion, I thought they had the chance to use the surrounding high grounds of Picardo, but they would just send it into this low ground open area to this, what we call what is it called again? The hostel right here, and just get themselves pinched double knot onto them. Dreaming is still in there, and really telling Daos Legion what not to do. Dreaming still holding this strong, but the side angle will come in. Don't forget about the other players. Elina will be maneuvering on that southern side of the city.
It just snipes down Dreaming up on flank side, and Elina will get also popped into the ground as Coty will fall as well. Wally will have a hard time reviving this teammate of theirs as also the smoke road comes out to try and make it further in through Picardo. Try find a better position to finish off these players. Mahmoud Sky somewhere will crash and burn towards the north side. That's going to catch him in the blue zone and he will be out of game as well. Daos Legion will also now move further in. All the meanwhile, this continues this fight with Cote now back up. The smokes did block away the vision for AWM did, and now he needs to chase even further. Maybe goes a bit too far.
But they would chase it down and miss that opportunity just in the reload time. but the rest of the team will be coming in, pushing them to that 5-stack building there. Another 6 seconds until the circle closes. This is a time to be really decisive, Highland Wolf. Elina really need to wrap this out. The beautiful nade lands on there, but they still need to hold this stronger. Daos Legion, I don't know what they're thinking, but if they want to do this, they need to do it quick. Don't forget there's still one more in the area. The last player standing for NS.
Yeah, I don't think Tezos will really want to be engaging right now unless he sees an optimal chance to really crush the hands into the hands of the L. Is Daos Legion now just go for the buildings which Elina are going to be trapped inside of? Wally and Coty in that 4-stack. Actually, it could be a 5-stack, you know.
Could be a 5, including that roof.
Yeah, it's a little bit taller here with Wally and Coty now on the top floor. But here come from the bottom the search and destroy team of Daos Legion, wiping from floor to floor. They're on already the 4th coming up now, and they just need to make it to the 5th to find their prize.
Well, the blue is now closing in. To be fair, if you land in Picardo and you still are not choked by the blue zone at this phase, you are considered very lucky. So this is the test and they have to make it count. Look at this shift, goes to the southern side with... Actually, Los Higos are in there as well with a little bit of that bridge, but those will be a very, very hilly finish for this last game of tonight.
Yeah, the fact that they're still taking this fight while this blue zone enrage is on, now the Molotov just going to buy even more time. What Elina are doing is actually buying not only time for themselves, but it will be short-lived as well. He will get grenaded there. Now comes the fight. Last Stand dips down to the hill and keeps himself alive for a little bit longer. Though down the stairs they will go, try to drop down themselves through the floor just the way they came, trying to chase after their kill. One will escape, but will it be for long? I doubt it will be, as Coty's now on the run. Reload, 30 bullets is satchel. It will be AWMD to come first, but it won't be then shut down onto AWMD. He will fall down, and so will the rest of Elina down into 15th position. Tennis alive, and now finds one in the blue zone, but it will be also now cleaned up by the side of Daos, and they will now make it into the final side of the game. But it's going to be a marathon sprint, 1,500, 1,600 meters to go, as they have such a long way to the south end of the zone. You see also Aphelion and Footless here, also now going to have a fight of their own.
The Eastern contest on that edge, and I was thinking, what are these solos doing in this game? Like, first off, we have Big Junior trying to shoot when no one's know he's there and get taken down, and then Taz is showing why you shouldn't do that as well. But that being said, all the teams from that choke around Hacienda del Patron has now come in. So SKY made it into the circle, now continuing their rotation through Los Leones. Trailing behind them is Union. Drunk Bandits also made the same similar rotation. And then in the middle zone, we have the control coming from the Lion Kings. KDV now also coming in. But yeah, Team 1 also got a good spot. Futsal really need to get out of here right now. They're trying to rotate around, maybe to reverse gatekeep the side of AE.
Yeah, I think Futsal, they could have the potential for a good position if they're fast and they're adaptive here to get into the center of the zone. Along that northern ridge, they can catch these teams coming from the north side. In this open field, they have the road there as well, which will block off one side from teams engaging on top of them, which provides them some form of protection and some disadvantages. Keep in mind for the likes of V13, if that zone does shift towards the eastern side, that's when they have that advantage. But if it shifts towards the west side here, Tarzan, that's when it gets a little bit dangerous for these teams on the east. That's when teams who are already positioned around Chumasera, around that southern island, towards the south end, will have that advantage. And KDV will find a 1-for-1 trade against V13, Tigers for V13, and also Venya for the side of KDV. But the support coming already quicker for the side of V13. Meanwhile, Footless Chaos pays the price now with one kill on to Jay here. Can make it maybe a second. No, he will not. And it will be Tigers also flushed out, but also behind Footless. Here come the power of Aphelion edging their way closer.
And that is Futsal making it work in this little dip here, trying to make sure they have a 360 view. And but yeah, like you said, they probably shouldn't forget about Aphelios. What's the name again? I feel it's Apex is the name. AE will get that entry point, but once again, they know they're trailing behind Futsal. Little do they know there's more teams coming in from the eastern edge. That is SKY actually split right now. Drunk Bandits may be able to choke that rotating player. The rest of Union Power need to come in as well. That is going to be quite a congested southeastern edge, as well as that coastline, because I don't think anyone wants to go to that southern island, Highland Wolf.
Oh, despite the fact that that zone could be going towards that South Island, whether they like it or not, I do like the fact that Union's power rotation are not going along the main road. They're going along the hills to above it, and that means they will have those dips for their advantage. If they start to get caught out, they won't be so easily spotted out alongside that main road. Special Ones also finding one onto Daos. One Drunk Bandits go on to Sky, as you mentioned. A second onto AWM, and that will be Daos with their slow rotation earlier on around punished for that extended fall to make it those 1600 so meters into zone. Just 80 more to danger of being caught.
Well, at least they made it out alive just about, still with the buggy. The ridgeline is there to protect. After losing one early, Special One is still in here to hold. The death was has gone over to the Lion King. We've got 3 teams. The Lion King has the information. They have a position. They got a position in the circle as well. So that, you know who else has good positions? Team 1 has a good one to stop all the teams who are still around the southeastern edge of the zone. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them still need to make their way in. KDV has a good spot. Sky actually will be able to claim a decent spot. Team Big also got a decent one. And Team 1 will find some knocks.
Yeah, I also quite like the Lion King's position, but as I say, that one will fall down with their 2-2 split on the northwestern side, but they do have a strong position, albeit to recover that kill and deny it from being first down and keep all 4 players alive. As Guard will now also, as you mentioned, for the one on their strong high ground position with vision over these teams coming in, maybe catch Drunk Bandits in the rotation later on. The side of TL, though, will be caught out by the Special Ones, and that will be them losing one more. Is their side of Lion King's debtor will fall down now as well.
When you play spoiler, you just need to know your absolute limits, and they were in position to punish, but those little bit of a misstep has caused the numbers disadvantage right now. So a 2 versus 3 versus 2 on this western side, and those fights are about to break as we predicted, because the Blue Zones is going to come in now. That is going to be a union to clash and trying to breach the area of control by Drunk Bandits, and also very close to them, AE.
A bit of a mistake here as Felix naded himself down below, and that's not a great time as Cage engages from that direction as well. Rusty Boy almost goes down, maybe provides some respite for Union Power, but not quite yet, and he will keep himself alive. Alongside Cage, though, is in the Blue Zone. Phase 4 will be tickling him slowly away, and Union just don't want any of this, because they see this Blue Zone coming in. Papa Blue's going to chew them up and spit them back out in tonight's game, and it will now be them making that quick rotation as MBS goes towards the bridge to try get into zone for his team and be that insurance policy for them into the final stages, because keep in mind, still 13 teams alive here, Tarzan.
Oh my god, losing those back tires as well with the burning buggy. Those back tires so important, but he will just made it through. But there's another player around here, which is SKY, and Drunk Bandits will take that time to rotate as well. Team Big is here to control as they spray one down, another one to go, and that is done for the side of the Drunk Bandits. Driving like a drunks themselves, they went out at 13th position.
And that is high-flying kills season for Miramar, and it's going to be even more as Union also fall down. The rest of those who were left behind will falter, and it will now be Team Big with their super strong position here over on this compound, overlooking that bridge, and also the high ground over these low ground teams along the roadside on the south. It will be also Special Ones keeping their strong position on the eastern side. They did clear out those eastern wave teams, and that will allow them to weigh in a little bit of respite moving into now this phase 5. On the other side, though, not so safe for the side of the Lion Kings. Here, 2 members are on a high ground position, but Daos Legion and equally also KDV behind them, as well as Special Ones in front.
This is not a good time to fight, I don't think, because there's another 40 seconds before it closes. They need to be so confident, but they could use a third party, and they will like it. The two congested teams who are contesting this side with the Lion Kings will go down, so they will just answer my question that will give them the time to loot up and rotate, as we have another 20-ish seconds before the blue zone closes. KDV needs to breach, and they have to push through that ridge possibly. They have the high ground, but the position and the hard covers of Team Big UK give them a very, very strong edge.
I don't like the reason why the Lion King went down is because right now what KDV are doing is they are now positioning to block the Lion Kings from moving back up that hill and escaping towards the zone. They actually allowed KDV that rotation despite the fact the other two teams knocked themselves out. They didn't respect that positioning and they lose one as Kiam Sabi will fall down, get blown up and obliterated almost out of the game. Surely his teammate will fall and the Lion Kings not in a comfy position themselves. The Pride Rock will be their last stand towards the north of that blue zone, as they will also now chickens struggle to make it in. KDD to say, okay,
really?
We're done here. We're now going to go down the hill because they will not want to do what the Lion Kings did, where they get caught out in a slow rotation. That zone now phase 5, centering around the bridge, will be super open, and they want to have a position to hold.
That's just not a good revive, man. Look at the speed of the blue zone choking there, but like Futsal was late to that rotation, but they just crashed into the center compound. Now with KDV overlooking, Team Big is under immense pressure. Look at them
KDV
burning.
It will be big. Mystic going down. Jonah also down as well. It will only be Suicide to keep himself alive. Throws a grenade down the stairs. Looking to try catch one on entry, but won't find any just yet. KDV have completely stormed this building, and big Team Big UK have just kind of the tables completely flipped on top of him. Jonah will be deleted as well alongside Suicide. They get roasted inside the house that they stand, and it will be 5 teams remaining. Will be the 1 versus 1 for this boost versus Qodex. Lucci did make that miss rotation onto the South Island, but has kept himself alive for now. Said one will also with D4 My Body will also make it into the game as well inside that 6 now phase zone, with Footless making their mark. The vision line going in, going to deny the vision away from these teams with the smoke road, and also escape away the sandwich of KDV.
This is just really good stuff from Futsal. I know they rotated a little bit late, but they took a bet and they tried to control this. Now just smoking up the road, knowing that there are dips for them to play on that other side is so important. But they also need to know the limits of the ridgeline protection, because KDV will still be watching them, but the blue zone is now coming in. Futsal is here to reverse gatekeep this. It's going to be a very spicy one.
KDV have their sights set on another team, and that will be the one as they lose one player in particular, just down to 3 members now. But in return, the station has been knocked down in the blue zone, will be removed from this game. And KDV also weakened now, but Tabush also now making a sprint back onto the bridge. He doesn't know where to stay underneath it or above it here, Tarzan, because he doesn't know quite where to go. Lucci on the edge of the blue zone will also fall down in this game. 4 teams remaining as Qodex take 5th position. Tabush still alive with 1 on the other side of the bridge of Footless and KDV controlling the high ground, but not inside the zone. They need to move down.
KDV needs to make this work. Upon rotating out of this cover, they will get shot down by 2 teams. So it's just based on analysis. I don't think they can take the teams out easily, but that will be a very good one for them to start off. That is good news. 1 gone for Team 1, and they are pinched behind that same cover. So KDV might have a chance, but Futsal will be looking at them like shooting ground targets.
See Ashley KDV here trying to make their assault as they deleted away the 1 from this final game, and Footless here to keep their rotation down outside the building, looking to punish away Venya and Trovka, who are still alive here. Footless, the full squad versus the 2 side of KDV, but it will be now the reset 4 just yet, and it will be the 3 members of KDV, Venya, Trovka, and Brute making their slow assault down the hill, but the zone is eating them up. Turbs almost goes down. Yes, he will beat a flush down, but the zone all the while will eat Venya alive, and Venya will fall for that punish, and it now will be just a 1-for-1 trade. Brute is above Chaos, looking to try punish, perhaps if Turbs goes down. Turbs is also down as well. They are split by now to 1 versus 1. Make it just 1 remaining member. Chaos will get fun onto Brute, and now it will be the return. Can Trovka return the kill vote? Will be Chaos reloading and has the bullets in his capacity.
It's 1v1.
Now the Hill's using the dips. The Chaos is still alive, trying to find a health, but the health disadvantage goes towards KDV. Can he find a second? Yes, he will, and it will actually go towards the side of Footless. Uses the dips, pops his head out, and deletes away KDV in second position.
I mean, it was so close. I thought KDV had no chance there, but they just used the utility so well, and Futsal almost lost it. You know, like, I think that is the time for them to maybe use some aggressive smokes, but instead they just hold that position, relying on that false bit of comfort, and they didn't deploy any smokes until some of the players are knocked. So that is not going to. I think that needed to be a lot cleaner, but KDV just missed it down to 1v1 in that last, pushing the full team of Futsal towards the bottom of that bridge. And but that is such an intense last fight, so props going to both teams, one taking the win, the other one defying the expectation.
Yeah, one takes the kills, one takes the chicken dinner, because you see Footless do take chicken dinner, but only 5 kills, whereas KDV takes second place, but they will take 9 kills in total. You see the one there in third position, Tarzan, taking 4 kills themselves. Someone killed you in fourth with 1 as well. They will bolster themselves up somewhat, might be enough to keep themselves in fourth top 4, should I say, for the semis, with Qodex in 5th position with unfortunately 0 kills, just the side of Lucci keeping his team alive for that position. Team Big UK in 6th with 6 kills, and 7th TLK, the Lion Kings, will take 2, V13 in 8th with 0.
And at 9th position, we have Daos Legion. We did criticize them a bit earlier, but I mean, that is finding the right time to rotate. They did wrap up that fight in the methodological way, a pretty good push. They tried to play patient, so they get rewarded for that, but soon that circle was a bit too painful for them to tank, and late rotation means they would just fall into the crosshairs of some other enemy teams as they take a 9th place with 6 kills. Side of Special One takes 10th position with 5 kills. AE with an 11th place finish went out to the one on that southeastern edge in phase 4 as they took that 11th place finish with no kills. Union went out at 12 with 4 kills. The Drunk Bandits, we saw how they lost their lives, choked around that northern part, but later on getting pushed away and forced themselves to rotate into a team who's holding a center spot as they took 13th place, 1 kill. NS non-stop with the 14th place finish and 3 kills. Elina eSports 15th place with 2 kills. Those are just Picardo for you. Why do I always get it wrong? PUBG is trying to do my head in, making the 2 big center cities with, well, both starting with P, and I really just need to get that out of my system. And last but not least, we saw how the trio of Team Big Junior went out at 16th place as well, but they do get that 1 kill point, so that is still something in there for them, but probably not strong enough a finish for tonight, because 16 teams with 4 spots to proceed to the semi-finals, and that is it, guys. 4 games, intense 4 games that we had tonight. Can't ask for more, Highland Wolf.
Yeah, just an epic Group B quarterfinals here. Going through halfway now at the quarterfinal rounds, just 2 more to go. Group C and D coming your way the next 2 nights. I mean, if it's anything to go by, though, how close these quarterfinals, I believe, have been. And yes, you know, it's a low point threshold, arguably 40 points to get into the top 4. But that is to say, the reason behind that is because teams have been back and forth attacking each other, where one team does well one game, another team who did poorly the previous game does well, and that repeats through these 4 games to then come down to who had the kills, who had the aggression, who was actually maybe not always at the top, but who was keeping themselves in a good position, maybe top 5 throughout those 4 games.
Yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting one. I don't even have an idea what the top 4 teams are going to be. So I will keep my eye on the Discord server for a Team Big Esports. I will actually try to type that in the chat right now. And that will be a wrap for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are interested to see what your enemies look like, do come back tomorrow and the day after to watch them in action, as well as studying how they play, the drop locations, etc. You know it, I've said it many times. And let me see, let's get that link in the server, and that will be about it. Anything to add, Highland Wolf?
Or none at all, really, apart from, you see the socials down below of this beautiful guy,
Yes.
Professor Tarzan. You see his Twitter there is also somewhere, just not on the screen. I can't see it, but it's certainly there. You go search up Professor Tarzan, you'll find it on his YouTube as well. I mean, there's not much to say more about a beautiful guy like yourself. The bromance is real here, Professor Tarzan.
I will need to still find some plans around the Valentine's Day, and I'll hit you up with that. We've got 2 more days to hang out before that to get some practice dates going, and that's actually, speaking of socials, there's still another one, so I'm just going to type it in as well. I have actually finally appeared on the grid of the Instagram world, so I've created that account yesterday with one spicy clip in there, and that will be my account. Type in the chat Professor_Tarzan, and if you can head over there, I'll be really appreciating your support, and there will be more clips that I'll try to throw in there as I learn my way around it. To be honest, I know how it looks like. I just stopped using it, but this is the time, and thank you so much for the support and bringing both of us to where we are now, and have a brilliant night, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.